Hello and welcome to the Edward T. Barry Ice Rink for the final week of the New England Hockey Conference regular season. My name is Seth Renski, joined by Matt Meisenbacher. And Matt, we've got a pair of teams that are playing some of their best hockey of the season. UMass, Ball State, their first three-game conference winning streak of the year. Hobart, a five-game winning streak and a chance with a strong weekend to possibly move as high as second in the conference standings. But when it comes to this year and this Beacons team, nothing has been easy. A late scratch, Daniel Nakbar, who's been red hot, 2 assists in each of his last 3 games. Billy Grant out with the concussion. Beacons team is shorthanded going into a matchup with one of the fastest and best skating teams in the New England Hockey Conference.
Yeah, this is going to be a challenge, huh? I mean, it would have been a good battle at full tilt, and now it's an opportunity for some of these other players to step up. You take a look, there's some holes in the lineup here, Seth, and I take a look at the first line with Peters, Walker, and Nicken. We've got 2 sophomores and a freshman on the top line, and that tells me something about the belief that Coach Blyle has in some of these younger underclassmen. To put them on the top line tonight against this Hobart team that, like you said, is quick, and they can match the speed of UMass Boston. I'm very excited to see what those guys can do, especially given, like you mentioned, a few players that are notorious for, being go-to guys. It really gives them an opportunity. So Peters, Walker, and Nicken are going to be the ones to watch tonight, as they're going to be the first line and really going to have a very challenging matchup.
Nakbar, the Beacons' leading assist player and point scorer this year with 28 on the year. He's out, possibly back tomorrow. Grant, the Beacons hope to get back next weekend as UMass Boston plays just 11 forwards, no fourth line right winger, no extra skater for a Beacons team that after today will now have just 5 players who have played in every game this season, a pair of seniors in Derek Russo and Dakota Keene, and then a trio of freshmen in Andy Walker, Joe Petrozzella, and Nick DeLuzio. The Beacons just have not been able to stay healthy and have not been able to get any kind of real momentum going during an up-and-down year after what was one of their best years in the regular season a season ago.
Yeah, it's interesting how, each season can bring new things. And you said it, Seth. It has been a true roller coaster. I mean, you take a look at what this team has done. We've seen some serious losing streaks, and we've some really promising winning streaks. And here we are. This is a really great test. And in the locker room, you've been with each other long enough now where you can really start to rely on guys. There really shouldn't be any guesswork coming into a game like this. You're at home. You know the stakes. I mean, you're looking for some home ice in this conference play. The at-large bid is gone. You've got to find a way to get some confidence going into the conference tournament, and hopefully with some home ice advantage. You take a look at what happened the last outing. Hobart beat you 6-2, but it was a close game in the first period. It was really the second period where they lost it. It was closer than the score dictated. So I'm really excited here tonight because I think this is going to be the true test. What Beacons team are we going to get tonight? Are we going to get the team that folds when things start to go south? Or are we going to get the team that's resilient and really starts to challenge this Hobart team, which, quite honestly, can make a run? I know Norwich is the top in the conference, but this Hobart team in the country too, but this Hobart team is quite talented as well. So it's a really great test here tonight here at the Edward T. Barry.
Hobart comes in ranked 5th in the country, 6th in the pairwise rankings, which helps determine, in fact, it does essentially determine who gets into the NCAA tournament. Right now, the Statesmen would be in the NCAA tournament for what would be the 6th consecutive season and 10th time since 2004. You see the standings. Hobart, if they can get some help from travel partner Skidmore College tonight in the form of a tie or victory, could move up as high as number 2, which would mean home ice throughout the first 2 weekends if they won in the first round. With a pair of losses this weekend, they could fall as far as 5th, where UMass Boston currently stands. The Beacons need a pair of wins and some help tomorrow with either Hobart losing to Babson or New England College losing at home to Southern Maine to get into that top 4 and host a game in the first weekend of the NEHC tournament. Let's take a look at the all-time series. Matt, this was a series just a couple years ago. The Beacons had a big upper hand. They started 5-1-1 against Hobart. The Statesmen have gone 2-0-1 over the past 3, including that 6-2 win earlier this year and a 4-0 victory last year in the NEHC semifinals. Probably the most dominant game I've seen by an opposing team coming in to the Edward T. Barry Ice Rink and really dominating from start to finish against the Beacons.
Yeah, it's a great point. I would agree with that assessment. And tonight, I think this is where you got to rely on your senior goaltender. And Bailey McBurney has had a tough year. There's been a lot of injuries. We've seen Sam Best step in, and let me tell you, he can get the job done. But you really, at this stage of the season, you rely on your senior goaltender. And I think tonight is going to be about Bailey McBurney. He's going to have to come up with some big saves, Seth. I would tell you this. If they want to win this hockey game, Bailey McBurney is going to have to be the difference. You got to rely on your forwards to get it done. They're going to have a solid forecheck. The last game they had, they were really tough. They were attacking at all zones, neutral zone especially. They were making things very clogged. Very tough for the opposing team to break out. They're going to need that here tonight, but I think the difference maker is going to be the number one in net, Bailey McBurney.
Let's go back to highlights from the last time the Beacons defeated Hobart all the way back on November 30th, 2018, a 4-2 Beacons victory in which Garrison Sanapath scored a pair of goals to give the Beacons the 4-2 win.
But I think that you and your girl, give me some of that. We stand out to the sun up, twisted and burn up. Can't nobody stop us. We gon' stand out to the sun up, twisted and burn up. Can't nobody stop us. We gon' give me some of that. Give me some of that. Give me some of that. We gon' until the sun up. I got my goals here, so don't you run up. It could get ugly. Think I need a wingman. I'm straight from California, smelling like a weed man. I got to locked up, so go and take a hit, dip, drip, one sip for the fifth. I ain't seen none girl bleed the fifth. Make your man cease to exist. All this money don't make no sense. You scared? Give me some of that. Out to the sun up, twisted and burn up. Can't nobody stop us. We gon' out to the sun up, twisted and burn up. Can't nobody stop us. We gon'
And welcome back to the Edward T. Barry Ice Rink. Let's take a look at the team statistics. And Matt, what really jumps out, the Beacons, again, one of the top scoring offenses in the country, 6th. But what Hobart has done so well this year is they're the only team in the conference to be in the top 3 in both scoring offense and scoring defense. 8th in the country in scoring offense, 15th in scoring defense. This is a very balanced Hobart team, and it shows as we turn the page to the team leaders. They don't have one guy. They graduated Jonas Topol, who was their senior leader last year. This is a team, though, that up and down the lineup has guys that can hurt you.
Yeah, you go up and down. I mean, the top line has Sternbach and McDougall. You look at the top 4 guys in terms of points. Those are the top 2. The captain, Sternbach, 22, and Lawson McDougall, the co-captain, number 73. But then you go down to the 3rd line at Alec Robitaille, who's actually leading the team in points. And then the guy who stands out to me is their extra skater, Andrew Longo. Okay, not even on the line. He's got 17 games played. He's got 11 points. So you want to talk about diversity in your scoring. When you've got almost a point per game, that's pretty impressive. So this Hobart team can score at will. It's not a matter of lines. It's really not a matter of matchups. It's a matter of your defensive scheme. You can't allow grade A opportunities with a team like this. You've got to protect McBurney. He's going to come up with some big stops, but you've got to find a way to defend and then let your offense take over. We know this Beacons team can score.
Right now, we'll take a look at the goalie matchup for the Beacons. It's Bailey McBurney back after an injury that he suffered against Hobart. Missed 7 games, came back with a groin injury. Joe Hallstrom in net, 3rd-string goalie a year ago, had to start the season because Liam LaSalle was unavailable. He gets the start today. You'll likely see LaSalle tomorrow against Babson. Take a look at the Beacons starters and then a break for the national anthem.
Ethan Nicken, sophomore forward from Miami Beach, Florida.
Chris Peters, sophomore forward, Rochester, New York. Andy Walker, freshman forward, Mason, Michigan.
Nick Albano, junior defenseman, Beverly, Massachusetts.
Nick DeLucio, freshman, defense, Aston, Pennsylvania.
Bailey McBurney, senior goaltender, Beverly, Massachusetts.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
National anthem just wrapped up. Let's take a look at the starters for Hobart. They will go with the second line, Aaron McGoyan, who leads the team with 4 power play goals. Travis Schneider, who's one of 5 players to wear a letter for this Hobart team. Zach Tyson, the defenseman, Mike Faulkner, Blake Coffey, and Hallstrom is in net. Really quickly, let's take a look at our Beacons player to watch. He was supposed to be Daniel Nakbar. He's red hot with 6 assists in his last 3. Here's another senior who's red hot. Derek Caruso has been getting it going on the penalty kill. Goals in back-to-back games shorthanded. He might be the fastest skater in the conference.
I love Derek Caruso. I really do. And the reason being, he's not the biggest guy. He's only listed at 5'9", but I'll tell you what, you would never guess it. I mean, the way this kid plays, he's always mixing up. You see the photo there. This guy loves hockey. He just loves to play the game. And I like the way he's got a little bit of sandpaper. Like I said, only 5'9", not the biggest guy. In fact, he looks kind of skinny out there, but love the way this kid plays. Always mixes it up in the corner, has no fear of the front of the net. We'll look for him tonight as we get underway here. And, boy, we're in for a tilt here, Seth. I mean, I think this game has got all the makings of being a true college hockey battle, whether you like offense, defense, hitting, some skill. It's got it all here tonight.
As we're underway, UMass Boston in the home white uniforms with the blue trim, Hobart in the navy blue uniforms with the orange trim and the white numbers. As we're having a bit of technical difficulties up top, and we will get you our normal game camera in just a moment. The Beacons controlling their own zone, flipping it out, looking for Ethan Nicken, who is onside, and we are underway. Nicken flips it ahead, almost finds Walker, back for Albano, shoots and scores! UMass Boston, 1-0, just 51 seconds in.
I'll tell you what, it's a great shot by Albano. And you can see it, we got a great vantage point. We really did. I mean, he had that side of the net, and I'll tell you what, I think Hallstrom has a little bit of a screen here, Seth. And Albano, with as offensive as he is, can detect that. We'll show you on the replay. I'll break it down for you, but I don't think Hallstrom saw this shot. And I think Albano, it's a credit to him, just a nice little quick snapshot on the blocker side, beats Hallstrom, the goaltender, to give his Beacons team a 1-0 lead. And boy, if you're Coach Blyle, that's just what you ordered.
And a great job by the Beacons top line setting up that goal. A really nice feed for Andy Walker that he wasn't able to corral, and then the Beacons chase after it. Here comes Jeffrey Skinner, who scored a power play goal the first time these two teams played. Back for Bross, up top for Petrozello, flips it in. Knocked down by the defenseman Schultz, and will be tapped out to the neutral zone. Very good start for a Beacons team that could probably use it with some of the news they got. Interesting, Matt, that first line probably only practiced together yesterday because Nakbar was practicing this week and possibly available up until Wednesday. Was at the hospital yesterday. Should be okay. Just a respiratory illness, but great to see out of that group Peters, Walker, and Nicken, who did not get a lot of time in practice together.
Yeah, and sometimes adversity for a hockey team really goes a long way. You put yourself into a corner and you really find out which guys want to step up, and you can see it early on here. Not even a minute into this hockey game, already with a 1-0 lead. Now, obviously a lot of hockey left here, still many things that can happen, but I think that does a lot for this Beacons' confidence.
Broken up nicely by Denoncourt right at the line, but Hobart will be offside. Let's take a look at the replay of that beautiful goal from Nick Albano.
Yeah, watch the goaltender. He's going to have a screen here. This puck's going to come out top. Watch Albano just kind of sit to the top of the net, and I don't think Hallstrom saw that shot all the way in. You can see there was this angle may show it here. Just take a look This puck comes up top. Yeah, Albano just one-times at blocker side. Convinced Hallstrom didn't see it all the way in, but that's a really good shot. Good recognition by 5 to get that blocker side where the goaltender didn't see it.
Howell in the top line for Hobart back out there. Howell with Sternbach and McDougall. Up top for Dennecourt, who takes a shot, and McBurney able to make the save. Bailey McBurney, when he's good, is really good. 13 all-conference last year, a program record for wins and goals against average. Right now, he's top 3 in pretty much every major category, but we haven't seen quintessential Bailey McBurney this year due to some injuries. This is a chance for him after playing well against Suffolk the other night, last Saturday, 27 saves, for him to really have a chance to, I wouldn't say salvage this season, but a chance for him to anchor this Beacons team down the stretch.
Yeah, and to do what he was expected to do from the start. He's had a lot of adversity, but I think everyone knew, the coaching staff, you know, people who have been close to the Beacons knew he was the starter coming in. And, you know, that's a nice one just to get under your belt. A shot from the blue line, a nice little clapper into the chest. It's amazing when a goaltender just feels the first one. You know, you don't have to do too much. You just kind of feel that, even when it's a hard shot like that, when you just feel it in your chest, you're like, okay, we're in the game now. I'm in. I'm locked in. I think McBurney's going to have a good game tonight. I can kind of feel it.
And a much easier start than last Saturday when the Beacons saw the first 8 shots of the game against Suffolk and ended up going down 1-0. McBurney, though, able to keep them in that game as they came from behind 1-0 to eventually win 5-2. Beacons on the breakout. It's Dakota Keene joined by Nick DeLucio and Davis Browning. Just 2 men on the 4th line today. Keene, the Beacons' senior captain, and Browning, who is playing his 4th game as a forward this year. Came in as a defenseman, but the Beacons have had forward injuries all season long. Nice hit there by Bross. Frees up Peters, who takes a quick shot and a blocker save from Hallstrom.
Such a necessary component to Bross's game. You see that hit at center ice, and you know he gets penalized for hits sometimes.
Chance
turnover
for Peters. He shoots, and it's denied by the toe. Puck is still loose, and Hallstrom finally covers up.
I was going to say Bross, yeah, no problem there, Seth, with a quick turnover and a good call. My buddy Seth is on his game tonight, folks. Boy, quick with the agility. But yeah, Bross, you know, the physicality, a necessary part to his game, and a nice quick turnover there. I'll tell you what, Skinner is another player I like. Tried to do a little stick handle, tried to beat the goaltender wide. He had the upstairs part, but I think he had committed to.
That was Peters that time.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Peters. What did I say, Skinner?
I mean,
yeah.
I like both of their games.
They're both great players, but yeah, Peters tried to beat the goaltender wide and had the upstairs, but I think he committed to going wide there. Good save by Hallstrom. He needed that one. Boy, they go down 2-0 quick. And we're singing a different song.
Both teams will keep the same top line out there. Face-off 1, it's Nicken, who's the NEHC Player of the Week this week after scoring 3 times and adding an assist last weekend. Center for Peters, and he scores! Roofs it home this time, and it's 2-0, just 3 minutes and 49 seconds in.
Boy, this team's got some energy coming out, huh? This looks like some of the former Beacons teams we've seen where it's all offensive. We're just getting going here. It's already 2-0. I'm a little bit surprised. We haven't seen this from a Beacons team, especially a team like Hobart. And quite honestly, Seth, if I'm Hobart, I'm thinking about maybe a timeout. I mean, this has been an all-out beating real quick. We're not even 4 minutes in. It's been all UMass.
The 3 best chances in this game have all come for UMass Boston. You could say the 4 best chances realistically. So very surprising. The negative if you're UMass Boston is you still have to play another 56 minutes, so still lots of time, but a very good start for a Beacons team that has dealt with more bumps and bruises this week, and a very good start here on their home ice. The puck is chipped past the red line. It'll be picked up defensively there. Coming all the way back was Phil Staton, and now we'll go the other way with it. Flipped ahead, looking for Schneider, the second-line center, who's wrangled by Rowland. Behind the net, it's Tyson. Tyson gets a Beacon to lose an edge, and a one-timer is well wide by Schneider, kept in the zone by Staton. Puck comes loose, and it's flipped out by Robiak. Robiak was injured up at Hobart, a tough knee to leg injury that sent him to the emergency room up in Geneva, but fortunately back to the lineup last weekend, and a chance for him to continue coming back. He's dealt with a pair of injuries that have kept him out of the lineup for most of this sophomore campaign. Long stretch pass knocked down by Ryan Bogan, and it's Caruso will flip it into the zone. 5 minutes gone by, the Beacons lead 2-0 on goals from Nick Albano and Chris Peters. Pass broken up in the neutral zone. A couple players battling for it. It's into the zone. Will Harrison, former St. Lawrence University player at the Division I level, gets it into the zone. Fighting for it behind the net, that's Benamarito, and coming away with it is Jack Riley. Riley gains the red line, will go out wide, centers it, but it's broken up nicely by Blake Coffey. Cross-ice pass for Benamarito, broken up nicely by Caruso, and dumped in by Mike Faulkner, the 2017 New England Hockey Conference co-rookie of the year with the Beacons, Zach Bross.
Well, I'll tell you what, Seth, there's a different energy in the rink tonight. I don't know if you can feel it. I don't want to speak for you, but I'm sensing a little bit of a different energy. You take a look at the replay here. I mean,
this is the second goal.
Yeah, and watch them crash the net. I mean, two guys behind the net, that's actually an angle coaching staff would probably not like that so much. But there's a different energy in this rink tonight. This Beacons team has started really strong. There seems to be a little bit of swagger with these boys in white as a shot there from the point. McBurney gets the rebound chance. I'm feeling a different energy coming from these guys. I know they're up 2-0, but right out of the gate, I don't know, maybe they listened to a little heavy metal coming out. It just feels like they were ready to roll right from the get-go. And, boy, you've got to be excited if you're a Beacon fan.
Matt, honestly, if I'm on this Beacons team, it just feels like it's us against the world with all the injuries and the stuff that has gone on off the ice for this team throughout the year at different points. It's been a frustrating up and down year, and yet right now these guys are available and they're going for it as Dakota Keene is able to keep the puck alive. Puck is loose along the near boards. Coffey is stripped by Nikin, who already has a pair of assists in this contest. Not bad for the sophomore out of Miami Beach, who now has 21 points as a sophomore. Talk about depth. This Beacons team is showing it. UMass Boston with that already up to 7 guys with 20 or more points as McBurney makes the save and takes a little bit of a shower there from Lawson McDougall. And
That's
Nick
fine.
Albano's not happy with it.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if you're Hobart, you got to do something. Got to rattle the cage a little bit. Might have, some bus legs. People talk about bus legs. Hobart's not that close. You got to...
not that close is a really nice way of saying, hey, I've taken that ride. It's 6 hours. It's not fun.
It's not fun. And you're right, I'm putting it lightly, and that is something, we joke a little bit, but that is something that's relevant. I mean, when you're sitting on a bus for 6 hours and you've got to be ready at puck drop with a team, UMass Boston, who, let's be honest, most guys at most are 5 minutes from the rink, that's a nice advantage to have, and UMass Boston taking advantage of it here early.
Yeah, and the Beacons have been slightly better at home than they have been up at the Cooler, which is aptly named. On a night like tonight, it would be absolutely freezing.
It's 18 degrees here in Boston, according to my car on the way over, so I can only imagine what it is up there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a little bit colder up there. Fortunately, in the rink, it's quite toasty right now. But UMass Boston, 2-1 against Hobart at home over the last couple of years. 1-2-1 at the Cooler. So a little bit more struggles.
Yep.
Up, and to be honest, it's not a surprise considering Hobart's one of the best teams, not only in the New England Hockey Conference, but just overall in the country, making it to the Frozen Four last year and ranked 6th in the pairwise this season.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see, this isn't going to just be a UMass domination. Hobart will respond, and I'm excited to see how UMass handles that. I mean, it's just not going to be an offensive onslaught, and this should go for icing.
Yeah, just over the stick of Joe Petrozella, and it gives us a chance to talk about Peter Belisle. Honestly, you could make an argument one of his better coaching jobs, keeping this team together, 3-game winning streak. This has not been an easy season from the start between everything that has gone on injury-wise and off the ice, and we've seen the Beacons continue to play well together as Walker has the puck off the faceoff, but it's knocked out to the neutral zone.
He's ironclad, Seth. Coach Belisle, everyone knows I played for him, and, there's probably a lot of alumni listening in tonight that would agree. He's in his another snow job there. I'm wondering, I would have given him a shot.
Yeah, that time it's it's P.A. Martineau, rather.
Yeah, I would have given Martineau a shot there. But anyway, Coach Belisle, you said it, with what's gone on this season, the adversity that they've had to deal with, his ability to rally the troops and every single night come out with really what the best that they have. It's a credit to what he's been able to do. His record speaks for himself. Is a little bit of an offensive onslaught there from Hobart. That puck goes out of play. But just to cap it off, I think Belisle has done a really nice job, especially this season, of overcoming really all the adversity, anything that a coach could dream of happening in a given season, he's had to deal with. And he's done a fantastic job, and you're seeing it here tonight. You know, a team that is not counting themselves out, up 2-0 at home halfway through the first period.
Zach Bross is thrown out. Robiak will replace him. Schneider wins it. Schneider had the initial shot that forced the kick save, and now it's Bross off the boards ahead for Skinner. Skinner on a 2-on-2, quick shot tapped up into the netting. A nice piece of defensive work from Phil Satin. And we talk about the adversity off the ice. Also lost his mother. It has not been an easy year for the Belisle family, as we'll get an offensive zone draw for UMass Boston. The tough part about it, it's not just hockey, it's sports. Once the game starts, no one cares about the adversity or the injuries that you have.
Yeah.
The Beacons, remember, just playing with 11 forwards tonight. Don't have enough to dress 4 lines, much less the extra skater. Behind the net, it's Denoncourt, sends it behind, and Nicky, who already has 2 assists, able to body Schneider off the puck. Controlled by Peters, who scored the second goal in this one. Nickin behind the net. He's been red hot. Takes a quick turnaround shot, knocked down. The Beacons are going to go on the power play. Andy Walker able to draw the contact from Denoncourt, and just like that, the Beacons will get a power play, and they've got one of the best units in the entire NEHC. This is a really strong start, as we've got words right now between Schneider and Walker there after it looked like Schneider wasn't happy with whatever Beacon said or did after the play.
Well, anybody that's been around the hockey game knows that, you know, a 2-goal lead is great, but 3 really puts you into a different echelon. That's a significant cushion. So this power play here, again, still plenty of time left, even in just this first period. But, boy, if they can get one here, you know, now you're really talking about potentially maybe changing goalies if you're Hobart, or putting the coaching staff in a position where they've got to really reevaluate what they have from a lineup perspective. So this is a big opportunity for UMass Boston.
Beacons come in second in the conference in power play at over 90%. Hobart third at 87.2% on the penalty kill, as it's knocked down by Jeffrey Skinner. The Beacons' top unit today looks a little bit different because of some injuries. It's Bross coming in tight, forces the blocker save. Out there with Skinner, Nickin, Albano, and the final player is Peters, as the quick snapshot from Albano forces the save.
We'd like to see them set it up here a little bit. They've got possession. A couple quick shots, which I don't mind, but, you know, you've got a Hobart team that is probably scrambling, at least mentally. Get in the zone here, maybe set something up.
Peters is stripped to the puck, and getting it just barely out of the zone is Big Dougal. UMass Boston, the one place they had the upper hand the last time these two teams played was the power play. They went 2 for 3, Hobart an 0 for 3 mark. It's Albano, leaving it ahead for Skinner, tries to dance his way through, loses it, centering feed is knocked down. Good defensive work by TJ Schultz, as it was Andy Walker right in front of the net, would have been all alone.
And again here, Seth, you know, already a minute gone. Pretty solid power play. You've had a couple shots on goal, but really haven't set it up in zone. Would like to see, especially on this breakout, and they turn it over there, you know, try to set something up where maybe you can feed the back door or try to get a one-timer with a screen. It's mostly been off the rush so far.
Joe Petrozella, who had a goal and an assist the first time these two teams played, out ahead, finds Roland out there in the second unit with Caruso, Riley, and Walker, who's been out there for a while. Cross-ice pass gets out of the zone there as Petrozella was trying to find Riley. Puck picked up here by Riley, who will flip it in. Down to 10 seconds to go on the man advantage. Chance for Coffey to clear the zone. Unable to do so. Good work by Caruso knocking it down. Now it's Petrozella with 5. Back and forth with Walker. 10 minutes to go in this first period. Backdoor pass. Walker, quick shot. Fluttered on him, and it's saved by Hallstrom and cleared down the length of the ice. This could have been icing, but Ryan Lynch is out of the head of the pack, and McBurney forced to play it.
Yeah, nice little play there by the Beacons. A good save by Hallstrom. He needed that one.
Joe Hallstrom, who was a third-string goalie a year ago, played in just 3 games, but Alexander Connell not back for his senior season, at least this year, and Liam Lassell did not play the team's first 14 games, has been splitting games on the weekend the last couple of weekends, is the Saturday guy. So Hallstrom, his first career start against the Beacons. On the other side, Bailey McBurney has started all 8 games against Hobart these two teams have played over the past 3 years. The puck is knocked down by Skinner there, loose and sent in on McBurney, who makes the easy glove save on Ryan Lynch, whose twin brother Kyle Lynch not in the lineup today. A pair of juniors on the team out of Milford, Connecticut. Nice pass right off the boards, but unable to handle it that time was Sternbach. Beacons able to clear the zone, but not much further. 9:01 to go in the first period. UMass Boston leads it 2-0. A goal in the opening minute from Nick Albano. And the Beacons added a second less than 3 minutes later, as it was Chris Peters off a feed from Ethan Nicken, who has a pair of assists here in the first period. Davis Browning, the backhand feed just out of the reach of Jeffrey Skinner. Beacons collect. Albano will send it forward as Browning took a fall to the ice. Coffey, the backhand feed for Faulkner, the top defensive unit out there for Hobart. Pair of very strong defensemen. There's a big hit on Adkins coming from Sternbach. Albano forces the glove save, and we'll get a stoppage with 8:24 to go. Let's take a look at that second goal from UMass Boston. Didn't really spend a lot of time on it. Coming off a face-off play.
Yeah, just watch as UMass Boston gets this puck towards the front of the net. You take a look, and they forget about Peters. You know, and it's so easy off a face-off draw because there's a lot of confusion after the puck is dropped. You know, if you don't have a clear assignment, you can get lost. And Peters found a way. The puck happened to find him, but he found a way towards the front of the net and was able to just really just snap that one glove side. Really nice play if you're Peters, just to let that one go. You're in a great AI position and put it in a really tough spot for Holstrom. That gave the Beacons a 2-0 lead, and that's where we stand.
McDougal and Sternbach battling with Bogan and Helt, the Beacons' third-line defensive pairing. Coming away with it is Andrew Longo, the player you highlighted, the extra skater today for Hobart, and it's dumped in by Mike Faulkner. Remember, this is a Hobart team that doesn't have a star forward per se. They bring back just one all-conference forward from a year ago. That was Sternbach, but they have an absurd amount of depth on the team this year, as Hobart has 14 players with double-digit points, 12 with 5 or more goals, as Nicken will pull down Longo, and we'll see Hobart going on the power play for the first time.
I'll tell you what, I played with his brother. He reminds me a lot of the way he played. He's got an edge to him, and Longo draws a good penalty there. And a little bit of speed coming into the zone, made a move, and took a little bit of an elbow. I'd be giving him a couple nudges on the bench if I was his teammates. That's a nice drawn penalty there by 23, and we'll see the Beacons penalty kill for the first time here tonight.
You see the numbers. Hobart at only 15.8% seems a little bit low for what we typically see out of Hobart. The Beacons, though, that penalty kill has been an Achilles heel, down to 78.4%. The Beacons were in the 70s for most of the first semester, popped up to about 83 in January, and have gone down to the 70s again. So let's take a look at the penalty on Nicken.
Yeah, you see the move, and you know, you can call a couple things there. Elbow, maybe a little hold, a hook. Either way, it's a penalty. But just before that, Longo had a little bit of speed coming through the neutral zone. I think that's what drew the penalty. Nevertheless, the Beacons lose a draw here. Going right back on defense.
Faulkner's the top playmaker, and a good backdoor feed, and then rifling it just high as Zach Tyson on the rebound. The Ohio native had a lot of empty net.
Yeah, that's a really nice save by McBurney as well.
Faulkner and Schultz back and forth. Has Faulkner with 17 assists this year, 6th in the conference. One of the players ahead of him is Nick Albano. Schultz backdoor looking for Schneider, who already had one shot saved. Schneider back for Faulkner. 35 seconds gone by the man advantage. Quick shot is tipped wide by Tyson this time. He's had a couple good looks around the net, and Faulkner just barely able to keep it in. Nice stick work there. Another shot in tight. That one's deflected. Looked like a Beacon stick, and McBurney holds on.
Yeah, you can see he's on his game. Yeah, he's getting good reads there. A couple good saves on this power play for Hobart. The first one, moving from his right to left, was able to get it with the pad, and that's a tough save, man. You're moving laterally. You don't get a great read on it. He was able to get that one, and the one from the blue line just now on the way through was definitely redirected. I think you're right, maybe gone off a Beacon stick, and was able to corral it, no rebound.
McDougal's shot gets through, and it's kept in the zone nicely. Really good work by Alec Robitaille, team's leading goal scorer with 11 goals. Up top, it's Denicourt. Denicourt for McDougal, one captain to another. Slap shot, and McBurney makes the glove save. Speaking of Bailey McBurney, his 8th career start against Hobart. 3-3-1, a .914 save percentage, 3.14 goals against average. Those aren't phenomenal numbers, but those are really good numbers considering the caliber of opponent that Hobart is.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I'll tell you what, Beacons could use a face-off win here. They could use a clear. They've been defending pretty much this whole penalty kill, and you see there, you get credit for a win, even though Bross may have lost it initially on the draw. Beacons possessed and cleared it. You know, that's going to get you at least 10, 15 seconds, as then a penalty kill, that really goes a long way.
Yeah, Bross able to tie up the Hobart player, and Andy Walker came flying in. Puck is sent to the far side. DeLuzio tries to get there. It's kept in. Good footwork there by McDougal, and then a hard hit coming from Walker, who will stay on. Walker, one of the smaller players, but able to use a little bit of physicality. Puck is loose along the blue line. McDougal picks it up. A couple players in front of the net. McDougal all the way behind the net, tries to center it, and Harrison unable to get there, and it's cleared out of the zone as far as Denicourt.
Yeah, you got to try to elevate that puck. If that can go 200, you get a change. Instead, it gets blocked. Here come the Beacons, though. 2-on-1.
2-on-1. Riley has Caruso, who scored twice shorthanded last weekend, and the shot goes just high and wide, looking for that top shelf. We're back to 5-on-5, though. 5:25 to go in the first. The Beacons still lead at 2-0 after 2 goals in the first 4 minutes. Benamarito leaving it off for Sternbach, who stays on after the power play ends. Bogan for Helt, who will just use his large frame to hold off a pair of players, and the Beacons will break out with Caruso. Caruso bounces around Martineau. It's a 3-on-1. Caruso near side for Atkins, shoots and scores! Jake Atkins, his third collegiate goal, and the Beacons make it 3 with 5:02 to go.
Derek Caruso makes this play, Seth. I can't wait to show this replay. Derek Caruso with a nice little move. He got really in a tough spot. There was a change there. You said it was Martineau coming off the bench, and Caruso was looking cross ice. He didn't see Martineau until the last second, and he was able to make a nice, just a very subtle play. One stick handle, he kept his feet moving and created a 3-on-1 the whole time, his head up. He never looked at the puck once. Had his head up the entire time, was able to slide that puck over to Atkins for a quick one-timer to give his team a 3-0 lead. Derek Caruso with a fantastic play there, 3-0 Beacons.
And I'm not sure who the third player was on that 3-on-1. As here's another chance. Dickens trying to center it across for Walker. The turnaround shot is Peters. The Beacons send the top line out there. But the third player on that 3-on-1 screen, Hallstrom coming across to make it a little bit easier on Atkins, who went glove side and just snuck it in inside the post.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it's a good placement by Atkins. He put that just inside the post on the glove side. That's really tough for a goaltender moving from his right to left to try and get to that puck, as we should get an icing here.
And let's take a look at the goal. Mary Jo Murphy's been busy.
Just before that, you see a quick play by Caruso at the red line rather, at center ice, and he's able to watch his head. His head is up the entire time, and then Atkins just goes glove side. The goaltender's there. Hallstrom's there. And a nice play, a nice shot by Atkins. But I'll tell you what, folks, a really nice play. That play doesn't happen if it's not for Caruso in the neutral zone. Fantastic play. And really the quickness, the quick agility to be able to see a guy coming off the bench who you didn't compensate for, to be able to make one move, get around him, and then continue on with the 3-on-1 head up all the time. I like that. It's a big hit there on the wall.
We're going to get a penalty as Roviak takes a big hit from Lynch, and I think we're going to get an interference call as the puck was gone. And give credit to Evan Helt. You don't think of Evan Helt as the guy joining the rush, but it was Helt whose body was there. As we will see Lynch going to the bench. Beacons with their second power play. Matt, it's one thing to be 2-0 4 minutes in. It's another thing to be possibly up 4-0 this late in the first period. Not to say Hobart couldn't come back, but if you can get a fourth right here, you really have Hobart on their heels, if not potentially skating out of this race.
Well, you start piling it on a little bit, and all of a sudden that deficit becomes, I don't want to say insurmountable, but a very strong hill to climb. And you're already up 3-0, boy, with just under 4 minutes left here to play in the first period. You want to talk about starting a hockey game at home with your back against the wall. If you're UMass Boston, I'll tell you what, if you told Coach Blyle he'd have a 4-0 lead after one, he'd be pretty excited.
Long stretch pass, and Peters nearly gets it off the stick of Hallstrom. That was a dangerous look for the Beacons, but it nearly worked. Keeping it in is Albano, but it's gloved down by Faulkner, has two players ahead, and able to find Tyson, shoots McBurney the save. That's a big one for the Beacons, a possible short-handed chance for Hobart.
Coaches will tell you about timely saves. They want their goaltender to make a timely save, and that's one right there, folks. That's a tough save as a goaltender. You're coming with speed. You got virtually three players coming down on top of you as a goaltender with speed. And you've really got to maintain your positioning. You've got to maintain your angle. McBurney does a great job, not just making the save, but corralling the rebound, allowing a whistle. You settle things down. You don't let things get out of control. It's a big save from your senior goaltender.
Faced off one by Hobart, but the Beacons break out 2-on-2 here. It's Riley leading the rush, has 11 goals in conference, looking for his 12th. That goes into the chest of Hallstrom, who stays in after giving up that third goal. Riley back for Petrozella. Nice job to keep it in with the skate. Now it's Roland whose shot's deflected. Roland still looking for that first collegiate goal. Does have 8 assists. Up top for Petrozella. Back and forth with Walker. Beacons on their second power play. 0 for 1 thus far with a lot of good chances. Petrozella over for Riley. Riley will take the shot. Misses wide. He had Caruso calling for on the near side. Derek's more of a penalty kill scorer than a power play scorer as Roland's shot knocked down. Caruso already with 3 shorthanded goals this year. Walker back for Roland. Roland looking for an angle. We'll take a look through traffic. Holstrom didn't see it, but makes the save.
Yeah, good stop. And Holstrom's in the hot seat, and he knows it. He probably has to leave this period clean. Take a look at the replay here. Just watch how far out McBurney is. Even when he's down, still not in the blue paint, folks. And that's when you talk about a goaltender being aggressive. If he drops down into a butterfly and his skates don't even touch the blue paint, that's about as aggressive as it gets. And a really timely save. Still 30 minutes on this power play for UMass.
Beacons will bring the top unit out. Still 25 seconds to go on the man advantage. Beacons' second power play of the day. Remember, Matt, the Beacons need 4 points this weekend to have a chance at the number 4 seed, possibly even third, but a chance at home ice. There's a turnover. Martineau is stripped to the puck, and the Beacons look like they're about to go 0 for 2 on the power plays. Gets past Skinner, teed up for Schultz, rebound loose, knocking it down, and a good job by Nicken to collect and throw it out of the zone.
Yeah, Rakowiak's got to be better in neutral zone there. That's too soft, and you've got to have a little bit more speed, a little bit more wherewithal. When you're in the neutral zone, you know you're going to get a puck. You got to do something. You can't just stand there.
So it'll be an icing against Hobart. 1:54 to go. The Beacons haven't dominated on special teams, but they certainly have dominated 5-on-5. 3 goals already. Goals from Adkins, Peters, and Albano. 1:52 to go in the period, and it's vital for both of these teams to finish this period strong.
Yeah, if you're Hobart, you would love to get one here. I mean, down 3-0 after 1 is not ideal, and it really makes things difficult going into the second period with the long change.
Bogan's shot is deflected wide by Keene. The Beacons coming out with Browning, Riley, and Keene. So a pair of fourth-liners and Riley, who was originally on the fourth line. The Beacons made a lot of changes today, including adding Andy Walker to the first line. Wasn't originally supposed to be there. Walker already has an assist, possibly 2 here in the first period, as we've seen Peters and Albano score goals with the first line out there. Long stretch pass. That one is able to find Benamarito, who tangles there with Ryan Bogan, one of a number of New Jersey players in this contest. You've got to feel a little bit at home with all the Jersey guys for both of these teams.
Yeah, you know what? We'll touch on it in the intermission. There's some towns I'm familiar with. You talk about Longo, played with his brother Mike, and it's nice to see the New Jersey hockey growing as much as it has.
And the Beacons, of course, with Bogan and Roland, a pair of freshman D out of New Jersey. The pass is dumped in for Petrozella, a little bit further away, all the way from Arizona. Behind the net, working with it is Benamarito, one of the smallest guys from either team, looking to find the point, but it's a nice job tapping that one away by Adkins, who scored a goal to make it 3-0. Long stretch pass off the boards, and Roland will get there, and we've got an icing with 30.6 to go.
Curious to see who Coach Blyle puts out here. You got 30 seconds, you're up 3-0. It's a chance to really put Hobart into an extremely tough position going into the intermission.
Beacons will go with that top unit. Already, that group has done well. As you see, Mark Taylor in his 20th season, 7 ECAC West Coach of the Year awards. Amazingly, he hasn't won one yet in the NEHC, and has led his team to 9 trips to the NCAA tournament and 3 Frozen Fours, including last year when they got an at-large bid and beat both Plymouth State and SUNY Geneseo before losing to eventual national champion University of Wisconsin Stevens Point 5-3. Stretch pass will go over the head of one player, but it's Aaron McGoyan racing after it. Centering feed doesn't get all the way through. Puck is loose, and that will do it for the period. Matt, as good of a period, not a first period, a period, as we've seen UMass Boston play this season here at home. Stunning considering what we talked about in the pregame. No Daniel Nakbar, no Billy Grant, shorthanded Beacons team, adversity, this, that, and the other, and yet we saw a Beacons team play what was nearly a complete 20 minutes.
I think you got to give them a full 20 there, Seth. I mean, I'll tell you, so, and I mentioned this in the pregame, you know, sometimes you put yourself as a team into a position of adversity, and anyone close to the team knows what this team has gone through this season. Sometimes it really sparks you, it inspires you to be the best that, you know, you can potentially be. And to come into this hockey game and score as quickly as they did, I mean, less than a minute in, to go up 1-0, I think any doubt that this team had that they can remain competitive against a really solid Hobart team, let's make no doubt about it. I mean, this Hobart team is not bottom of the league. This is top of the league. They've come in here and really shown them we're not fooling around. We still think we can compete. The Beacons did a really good job, up 3-0 at home, to come in and start to make this Hobart team question their confidence a little bit. And I don't care how good of a team you are, if you're down 3 after 1, you're starting to really question, you know, hey, did we show up to play tonight? I really credit this Beacons team, the way they started this hockey game. They looked solid. They looked really confident. They had a swagger to them, and I think you've got to really feel good if you're the coaching staff.
So UMass Boston, remember, here's kind of what we're looking at. UMass Boston needs 4 points to possibly get into the top 4, and then they need help tomorrow. But they have to get these 2 points tonight. For Hobart, realistically, to get the 2 seed, they probably need 4 points, or at least 3. So very interesting to look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Beacons will be Hobart will be focused on that Babson game. The Beacons just need to focus on this game and this game alone. We'll take a look right now at one of our Beacon spotlights. It's Evan Robiak. You talked about roller coasters, Matt, before the game of the season. He's had a roller coaster of a season, breaking his hand in practice after the first weekend, then a hematoma that he suffered against Hobart, in which the Beacons thought he might be lost for the season with a broken bone. He talks a little bit about dealing with the adversity, and I think it kind of just reflects on just how this Beacons team is dealing with adversity. UMass Boston leads it 3-0 after 1.
This year for me has been a roller coaster emotionally and physically for me. Getting injured is a pretty tough thing mentally, and having the support of our strength trainer Jeff Ebbs and our coaching staff and all of our teammates and all the other staff that helps out definitely helps me recover as fast as possible and keep my head in the game and not worry about getting injured and just focus on getting back on the ice with the teammates and helping us win games. I had a big off season in the weight room and on the ice. Over the summer I stayed around here and worked out quite a bit and stayed training as much as possible. So I was really excited to start the season, and we started off pretty hot, and then I was feeling pretty good, and it was just a freak accident in practice. So yeah, it really was a turning point for me in terms of how I was thinking about my mental side of the game. And you know, when something like that happens, it really is it's really easy to fall into the negativity of it instead of battling the adversity and just getting back and staying on the ice. And luckily it wasn't an injury that hindered me from like walking around or doing anything too active, so I was able to stay in shape and came back, and I still feel good. The injury up in Hobart, that one was pretty tough too. It was only a couple weeks after I got it over my hand, and it was just one of those like nasty plays, just a knee to the leg, and just it didn't really feel good. And now that was another thing with adversity for my mental game, and you know, I had my teammates and coaching staff, and like I said, Jeff Ebbs, he just keeps positivity and keeps us working hard, and not really worrying too much about it. It's just a temporary injury, and got over it. Originally, I was taken to the hospital. I thought I'd broken a bone in my leg, and luckily it was just a muscle tear, hematoma. So the pain was really bad, but luckily the damage wasn't too bad. It was just kind of a healing process, a lot of ice, a lot of heat, and just stretching it out. But it's all better now. It felt great to get back on the ice. You know, that's what I'm here for. I love to play the game, and yeah, really not playing it just makes me want to play more. So I don't take it for granted every time I lace up my skates and get on the ice with the boys.
Welcome back to the Edward T. Barry Ice Rink. It's UMass Boston leading 3-0 after 1. Matt, we take a look at the scoring summary. The Beacons take the lead just 51 seconds in. It's Albano's 6th of the year from Walker and Nicken. They add a second one at 3:49. This time it's Peters from Walker and Nicken. And the third goal Jake Adkins from Caruso and Bogan, already 2 points apiece for Walker and Nick, a pair of assists. And you got to love it. Chris Peters has been one of your best scorers, but for Albano to get involved and even Jake Adkins to get involved, this is not necessarily the usual suspects for UMass Boston.
No, and it's great to see. I mean, you know, diversified scoring is what we expected from Hobart.
Was one of my keys to the game. I said Bailey McBurney had to step up. I said the Beacons needed diversified scoring up and down the lineup, and I forget the third one. That's the only one that doesn't matter at this point.
Folks, can we give Seth credit for being a little bit, you know, little foreshadowing going on? If you're not tuning into the pregame, you're missing out. We give you the answers to the test. You got to tune in early.
Let's take a look at the first period statistics. Pretty even in terms of shots. Face-offs, not surprised, they're in Hobart's favor. The one thing that we don't quantify is the quality of chances and the number of quality chances. And I think that's where the Beacons really had the edge, especially early in that period.
Yeah, and they weren't even, you know, the easiest of goals. It's not like we're dealing with backdoor tap-ins where, you know, you score 99 out of 100. I mean, these are plays off the rush. You know, we'll bring you the highlights here in a second, but the majority of these goals, you start with Albano from the point. He puts the puck in a spot that makes it very difficult for Holstrom to make a save, and the next 2 goals were where Holstrom had a chance to make a stop, but the shooters just beat him. And especially on the third goal, you know, Holstrom was in a position to make that stop, but Atkins did a fantastic job on the pass from Caruso. Sometimes when you get, you know you have a scoring opportunity, you get a little bit of the jitters, and you just kind of try to fire one as fast as you can. You know, he really took an extra half second to see what the goaltender gave him and put it just above the pad, but not far enough where the glove could get it. That's a fantastic shot. Beacons did a really good job. Again, they had some swagger, but they looked composed, and they really attacked with force and not just an individual effort. So really happy, despite what you see on your screen there in terms of shot saves, faceoffs, power plays, and penalties. I thought they did some things that you don't find on the stat sheet. You actually have to watch the game to see, and that's why they're up 3-0.
Right now, let's take a look at highlights from the last time the Beacons played. It was the beginning of this 3-game conference winning streak, as it was UMass Boston defeating Castleton by a 6-3 score.
back here on the Beacons' first intermission report, and we'll roll you through some highlights here after that first period. And boy, the Beacons came out rolling quick and early. Under a minute into that first period, we're going to start you off with a goal. Not many times we roll through highlights and we start with a goal. Well, we'll start you with a McBurney save. That happened later in the period, but it was worth showing. That's that Albano goal. And right there, you can see the placement. And he puts his puck. Watch this puck come low to high. Now Hobart's going to go towards the front of the net. You see a nice pass there. And Albano, just at the top of the circle, goes blocker side. He's able to give the Beacons a 1-0 lead. And McBurney, let's not short him. Came away with a save there. That was big. Gave himself a feel for the way this game was going. And then the Beacons came right back down. I thought, boy, they had a chance to score here. You see the way they crashed to the front of this net in just another inch maybe. Peters is able to tuck that in. Holmstrom, I thought, made a good effort on that play, but nevertheless, Peters is going to come right back down. He wouldn't be denied on that one. Right in the slot. Watch out the face-off play here. Peters all alone. No one near him. That puck comes right out to him, and just a quick snapshot on the glove side. He was able to give the UMass Boston Beacons a 2-0 lead. And one more angle on it there. You can see just, again, completely undetected. Just a gap in the D-zone coverage. McBurney with his best save of the period there. And then this is the play by Caruso. He made it in the neutral zone and then keeps his head up. Doesn't look at the puck one time. Able to find Atkins. And watch here. Puts it right on the tape in stride. Able to pop that glove side. 3-0 Beacons at that point. And then this is we'll give you one more look at it. Again, you can see Holmstrom pretty much there, but Atkins with a great save. And then this is that partial breakaway save by McBurney. I thought this was a huge save to give his team, keep the momentum going in his favor. Not only making the save, but no repeat. And the Beacons 3-0 after one. And I'll tell you what, Seth, we said it and we'll say it again. You couldn't ask for a better start if you're a Beacon fan.
Absolutely not. The Beacons getting off to a tremendous start. Matt, in terms of the rest of teams on campus, the women's hockey team 3-1 loss today, much closer than that. It was 0-0 after one. Norwich scored a third goal with 56 seconds left. I think it was maybe 54. Katie Leffler, you're going to want to see it. We emailed immediately asking for it. A brilliant shorthanded goal, one of the best that I've seen. Leffler has quite a few goals this year. So this was one of the best. They are officially on the road next week, and the question is where. Kind of a tough finish for the women's hockey team as they have now gone winless in each of their last four. Let's take a look ahead. We'll look around the rest of the conference. And, Matt, some interesting scores for both of these teams. Babson can wrap up the 2 seed today with a victory. They lead Skidmore 1-0. The Beacons will see Skidmore tomorrow. Babson will host Hobart. Suffolk and Castleton tied 2-2 at the end of the first. That's a huge game. Actually, possibly the biggest game in the conference tonight. Suffolk and Castleton right now separated by a point for the A seed. Castleton were to win, they would flip-flop with Suffolk and move into the top 8, which is especially important because Suffolk plays Johnston Mills tomorrow, so Castleton needs all the points they can get. Norwich currently leading Johnston Wales 1-0. Let's take a quick look ahead for UMass Boston. Senior Day tomorrow. The Beacons will honor their 5 seniors. They expect Daniel Nakbar to be able to play tomorrow after missing practice yesterday, not playing today. NEHC tournament starts next Saturday. Beacons still with the chance to be at home, folks. So we could have at least one more game on the Beacons Broadcast Network after tomorrow. Opponent and time to be announced. Matt, we talked a lot about the Beacons. For Hobart, no reason to panic. This is a very good team. This is a resilient team. But what's the message from Mark Taylor after that first period?
We've got to come out. We've got to get the next goal. Absolutely. I mean, you've got to jump. And there's a tendency for hockey teams when you're ahead 3-0 after one, and it's human nature, to take a breath. And you kind of sit back. You start a little bit lax. You know, you feel like maybe you've already got something in the bag. And that's not the case. This Hobart team, I expect to attack very, very hard out of the get-go. They know they have to get the next one. They've got to get on the board here. The last thing they want to do is go down 4, and we're going to get a goalie change, Seth.
Yeah, it'll be Liam LaSalle, who played extremely well in his season debut against UMass Boston. LaSalle was one of the 2 starters a year ago. in his opening start back on January the 11th, 27 saves on 29 shots against the Beacons. The sophomore, who was a USCHO.com all-rookie team player a season ago, comes in and he will be making, well, just his first appearance off the bench, 6 total appearance, 4-1 this year, a 2.21 goals against average, 904 save percentage, and he will look to anchor his team. And honestly, if you're LaSalle right now, gotta feel like you can't give up a goal, period, much less the first goal of this period.
Tough spot to be in, and you don't have the warm-up to get yourself going. You go right into the fire. So a spark, if you're the coaching staff, if you're Hobart, not really surprised that they made a goalie change. They've got to start doing anything to get back into this hockey game down 3-0. But, boy, if you're LaSalle, tough spot. Really tough spot.
LaSalle has a lot of accolades to his name. The sophomore goalie out of Cornwall, Ontario, was the Central Canada Hockey League Goalie of the Year back in 2017-18 for the Cornwall Colts. His final year of junior hockey is whiffing on the shot with Skinner, kept in the zone by Benamarito. Last season, a member of the USCHO.com All-Rookie Team, the NEHC All-Rookie Team, and was named to the New England Hockey Conference All-Tournament Team. As we've got another icing call, and we've seen that a little bit from Hobart, trying to get aggressive with some of these passes, and Beacons D have done a great job of staying at home, not giving up that long stretch pass for the most part.
Yeah, and on top of that, you know, I think as a goaltender coming off the bench, you really just want to get a feel for this game. You've been watching it, but it's different when you're on the ice. Your heart rate all of a sudden gets jacked up, and boy, if you're UMass Boston, you can sneak 1, maybe 2 past them. You're really shot there from a good angle, or a bad angle rather. Good save by LaSalle, but boy, if you can get 1 or 2 in the back of the net at UMass Boston, you really put yourself in a great position to win this hockey game.
LaSalle got the start in last year's New England Hockey Conference semifinals, 27 saves in the shutout. In fact, has made each of the last 3 starts against the Beacons. Up at Hobart last year in the regular season, 31 saves on 34 shots in a tie. So 2-0-1 for his career against UMass Boston. The puck is sent in this time onside. It's Sternbach. Puck will come off the wall, and it's controlled by Bross. Bross working behind the net there as TJ Schultz tries to hold him off. It was interesting, man, looking through the statistics, Bross and Albano, 2 of the Beacons players who come in with over 80 points for their career, as that one goes off of Schultz and picked up by Bross. Both came into today's matchup with just 2 career assists in 7 games against Hobart. Great to see Albano get that goal in the early minutes as the shot goes off the glove of LaSalle. Riley for Helt, and it will come off his stick and out of the zone. Dumps back in, and first one there is Adkins, who just uses a burst of speed, has Riley in front, tries to find him off the stick of LaSalle, and it'll be collected there by Sternbach. It'll come all the way down the length of the ice. This is an icing unless McBurney plays it. They waved it up just ahead, and it's picked up by Bogan. Bogan, the stretch pass, looking for Adkins. Adkins will win the foot race, and he'll get around the possible hit of Denicourt. Puck loose along the boards, and it's picked up, glove down by Martineau. Chance for a 3-on-2. Martineau into the zone, whips it across, and the shot from Harrison is tipped wide.
Yeah, really good stick. Boy, that's a good stick by Bogan. He's having a really great game, Seth.
It's actually Robitaille, the team's leading scorer, 17, not 19 with that shot. Really good look, and that pass is broken up as the Beacons will try to collect. Much slower start for both of these teams as Helt tries to play it off the wall and out, but it's kept alive by Martineau. Martineau comes up with a loose puck as Helt still tied up there on the far side with Sliney as those 2 players battle for it. Picked up by Robitaille, sent it down low. Another Hobart player goes down. That's Sliney, held on the ice as well, and it's controlled by Keene, who dances around one player, but it's too far off his stick and then allows Bell to get there first. No penalties coming from all that physicality. Now Keene looked like he tripped up a player, but Denicourt will not get the call. Saw 3 penalties called in the first period, 2 on Hobart, 1 on the Beacons. It's Nicken trying to get the shot off. Puck is poked off his stick. And it'll be kept in the zone here as DeLuzio takes a little bit of a shove in the back. 16:24 to go in the second period. The Beacons lead 3-0 on 3 goals in the first period, and that's a Big hit and a penalty coming on Davis Browning, right into the numbers of Hobart's loss to McDougal, and just like that, we'll see Hobart go on the power play.
All right. Well,
kind of felt like that was coming one way or another.
Well, you knew it was going to happen maybe, I don't know if it was going to happen this quick in the period, but you knew Hobart was probably going to have another power play, at least one in this period, and happens early on here. So this is really that turning point in the hockey game. It's going to be a boarding call. But this is a little bit of a turning point here because you've got a UMass team up 3-0, and as expected, didn't come out with that same fire we saw in the first period. That's just kind of human nature. Hobart with a great opportunity to get back in this hockey game.
Skating with it, shooting and scoring, at least according to the referee behind the net. A beautiful goal from Mike Faulkner, his first goal of the season, his 8th collegiate goal, and Faulkner, just like that, 3-1, maybe 10 seconds into the power play.
Yeah, that's a bottle popper. That's a rip. We'll show you on the replay. Not a lot you can do here if you're McBurney. That beats him over the shoulder on the blocker side. It was labeled. And when you see that water bottle pop like that, you know you've got yourself a G. Faulkner with his first of the night and brings Hobart right back into this hockey game.
Faulkner out of the Bronx, New York, a junior who played his junior hockey with the Merritt Centennials, former NEHC co-rookie of the year with the Beacon, Zach Ross, and that is a big opening salvo here in the second period as Hobart doesn't even need 15 seconds to score a power play goal. They're 1 for 2. The Beacons 0 for 2 after the penalty to Davis Browning. Kept in the zone just barely there by Petrozella. And we'll see if the Beacons can pick up their play a bit. That first game between the two teams, it was Hobart leading 2-1 after 1. They scored twice early in the second to take a 4-1 lead and added 2 late empty netters to win 6-2. So we'll take a look right now at a beautiful goal from Mike Faulkner.
Yeah, just take a look at where he puts this puck, folks. You see that water bottle? That's all day. You got a shooter that can put it there. Tough for a goaltender. You really got to get that shoulder up in a hurry. You really do. You got to get a good read off the tape, and you've probably got to challenge a little bit more than you normally would. If you know it's a shooter, maybe you can come out a little bit. Really not a ton of opportunity for McBurney to make a save there. That's just a really good shot. Just a shooter beating a goaltender. Faulkner with a bottle popper to put his team on the board.
Skinner tries to dump it in. It's knocked down by Denicourt, but Skinner kept it alive, and now it's tapped out. McGoyan in a battle with Albano, and McGoyan offside. Talk about being a shooter. It's his first goal of the season for Faulkner, just his 8th in 74 games. Not to say that he's not a scorer, but that's not a guy that you necessarily have labeled on the scout. This is a guy you have to worry about his terrific shot.
And not doing that. Maybe with a screen or a redirect, right, or a rebound, but to label one blocker side high just under the bar is pretty tremendous. So nice shot by Faulkner. Now we got a hockey game here, Seth. 14, still so much time in this hockey game. Only 3-1 Beacons, and you knew Hobart knew that they had to get the next one. You can't go down 4-0. And 3-1, all of a sudden, you feel like you're right back in this game.
Albano, the turnaround shot, whipped wide. He scored the opening goal in this contest. As the puck is loose along the boards, battling for it. Comes out to Caruso, who's filling in for DeLuzio. And it's Riley trying to go back and forth with Adkins. This puck is knocked down and eventually collected here by McGoyan. Rather, that was Seton for Hobart. Behind the net, it's Schultz leading the charge as a defenseman, and Albano goes into the back, and we're going to see another penalty as he knocks down McGoyan, and that is tough if you're UMass Boston. You just gave up a power play goal maybe a minute and a half ago, and now you're back on the penalty kill. A pretty clear cross-check there by Albano right in front of the referee.
Yeah, I want to see this one again, because, you know, they're going for, it looks like it's a 50-50 puck on the wall, and I want to see, did Albano do something maybe a little bit over the line? It seemed to me, Seth, like, you know, that's two guys going for a puck. I want to see it again if we can. But
yeah, we'll have it in a second.
Nevertheless, it's going to be a penalty. Doesn't matter what I think. It's on the board. You've given Hobart now a chance to really make this thing difficult for UMass Boston. All the work you did in the first period, you've got to find a way to kill off this power play.
And we're not even 6 minutes in. This could be a 3-2 game quickly. It's McDougal down low, back and forth here with Howell. And that one goes off the skate of Bogan. Puck behind the net, controlled there by Howell, the first-line left winger for McDougal, looking for Denicourt, quick shot, and McBurney a big save. So we'll take a look right now at that penalty on Nick Albano.
Yeah, it's going to be easier in slow motion, but let's just see if we can find something he does here. This puck's behind the net. Yeah, maybe a little early. I don't know. And that might not be the best angle. Let's see if we can see it here.
It's just the two hands.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
30 seconds gone by on the man advantage as McDougal plays it off the boards for Denicourt and right back. McDougal will send it down low for Hal. Hal tries to feed it to the middle, looking for Sternbach, almost broken up, but Hobart keeps possession. McDougal, quick shot. McBurney fights it off, and the rebound falls for Caruso. Caruso around one player, but good stick work by Coffey to deny a shorthanded chance.
Yeah, and a good stop there in front of the net by McBurney. If that puck gets through, it's probably in the back of the net. He got a good read on that one.
Minute gone by on the man advantage, 13:25 to go in the period. Hobart has already scored one man advantage goal as Denicourt shot denied by Caruso. Denicourt, though, able to get there before Derek. Riley out of position, shoots and a score. Julian Denicourt, the second defenseman to score on the power play. It's Denicourt's 5th of the season, and just like that, it's a 3-2 game.
Beacons had a chance to clear on the wall, and they didn't do it. And Denicourt, you know what, I'll tell you what, I don't fault McBurney on either one of these shots. They were both posting in. One was under the bar, one was glove side and in. Those are two great shots. You can't expect your goaltender to make those stops, especially on the power play. And I'll tell you what, Seth, on top of it, Caruso was looking like he might have hurt his leg a little bit. And coming off the ice, it seemed like he was struggling. So right back in this hockey game is Hobart. And I'll tell you what, if you thought the number 5 team in the country was going to back down, you're sadly mistaken. We've got a hockey game, folks.
2 power play goals to begin the second, just 7 minutes in, and it's a 3-2 game as Faulkner has it tonight. Now Peters, who doesn't have his steam, will look to go the other way. Tries to deke his way through, but good defensive play by Chase Bell. And it's 3-2 here as Caruso took a shot to the skate, maybe the leg on the initial chance. That's why he wasn't able to get over to the wall, because he was a little slow. And that allowed Denicourt to pick up the puck off the wall and able to score an unassisted goal to make it 3-2. Both goals coming from defensemen. Makes it even a little bit worse for UMass Boston is just see the depth of this Hobart team. Nickens, no-look pass, stolen away by Robitaille. Feeds it ahead for Longo, who will look to go right back for Robitaille. So the one thing, and I'm not trying to take anything away from these Beacons freshman defensemen, but UMass Boston does not have a lot of defensemen scoring this season with the exception of Albano.
And both of those were rips. I mean, if you took the numbers away and just put the jersey on, I wouldn't be able to tell you if those shots were from forwards or D. In fact, I'd probably guess they were from their top scorers, Sternbach and maybe Robitaille, the way those shots came in. So good on Hobart. You know, they needed this. To come back into this hockey game, they knew they were going to have a good start. They had to have a good start to this period. They got exactly what the doctor ordered, 3-2 hockey game. Beacon's still with the lead here. Let's not make a mistake. Still with a lead at home, but all of a sudden it feels like Hobart's in control of this game.
Roviak will flip it in. They're going to say that tipped off a Hobart player, so no icing. 11:30 to go in the period as Lascelles, who came on with his team trailing 3-0. It hasn't had to do that much. Able to keep the puck onside here is Lynch. Lynch will corral it below the goal line, looking to go far side for Harrison. Right back for Lynch. Lynch in the face-off dot. Turnaround shot. McBurney somehow makes the save, and it'll be flipped out as McBurney was battling there with the Hobart player in the crease. That likely would have been waved off if the puck had gone in, as that was Phil Satin, who was literally straddling McBurney in the blue paint.
Yeah, that's a big save, and I'll tell you what, UMass Boston has been on defense for this entire period. They've got to find a way to get some offensive shifts.
Adkins takes a bump there, but will stay on his skates. Beacons forechecking. The puck will be just fluttered out to the neutral zone where Roland's the first one to it. Off the board for Adkins. We're going to see a stoppage and an offside, I believe. Maybe a hand pass? Either way, the puck will come out of the zone, and we'll take a look at that second goal for Hobart. This one, Julian Denicourt.
Yeah, it's a rip. Right through the slot. That's a grade A opportunity, and what you can't see there is that puck went posted in on the glove side. I mean, that's just another great shot. Both pucks that beat McBurney tonight were perfect shots. And sometimes as a goaltender, you can do everything right and still get beat. I think that's what happened with McBurney on both goals here tonight. He was in position. That's just a shooter putting it in a spot where no matter who you are, you can't get there.
Yeah, McBurney has been extremely strong. didn't look as impressive in the first period when the Beacons were scoring, but it's big now as the Beacons hope their goalie can do well. So we've got a hand pass here on Hobart, not a third penalty of the period. UMass Boston 0 for 2 on their power play chances. Hobart is 2 for 3 now. Goals on each of their last 2 power plays. Puck will come out of the zone, and right now, all the pressure's on the Beacons. They might be leading by a goal, but this game is heavily shifted in favor of the Statesmen with 10:08 to go in the second period.
Yeah, you need some offense. You know, you've basically put yourself in a position in the first period to dominate a team that, like I said, is 5th in the country, and now with a couple power play goals, Hobart right back in it. We knew they were going to have a little bit of a push here, but to get too quickly like that, it's probably rattled the cage of the Beacons a little bit. They've got to find a way to get some offense.
Lead pass for Keene, who will get around one player, but loses the puck in the neutral zone. It pops up high, almost to our level, and it'll be corralled here by Sternbach. We've seen a lot of this top line for Hobart here in the period. Shot gets all the way through to the far side. Keene tried to chop at it and send it out ahead. Here's a good look, kick save, and put in on the rebound. Lawson McDougall puts home his own rebound, and less than 11 minutes into the second, we've got a tie game.
Yeah, Keene gets beat here. I hate to single him out, but he gets beat towards the front of the net, not once but twice. The rebound gets past McBurney, and unfortunately, that's going to tie this game up. If you're a Beacons fan, all of a sudden that 3-0 lead is gone, and we are in for one here, Seth. Halfway through this hockey game, it's 3-3.
Lawson McDougall, his 6th goal of the season, his 26th career goal in his 100th career game. And just like that, it's 3-3 as McDougall puts home his own rebound. Good initial save by McBurney on the kick save, but the rebound fell to McDougall, who had a lot of open room along the near post. And now a big hit coming from Evan Helt, and no penalty here as Helt knocks down Dan Sliney.
Yeah, and you could use a couple hits. You know, in former Beacons teams, Coach Blyle would have a line, typically the yellow line, to throw out there, get a little bit of energy, bang some bodies around, and kind of wake up your squad, because all of a sudden you were up 3-0, and now you look up, it's 3-3. You start to question what the heck changed in between periods.
I think it's more just Hobart's mindset than anything else, although the Beacons did not come out with the same vigor either. This puck will come out, and Bross will collect for Helt, who just laid that big hit on the icing. Helt tries to bring it into the zone, but Schultz is there for Hobart. And I'm sure some of the wear and tear of sitting on a bus for 6 hours is kind of gone away for Hobart.
And let's not forget, we've got to still have a pretty fresh goaltender down the other end. He really hasn't been tested. LaSalle maybe 1-2 shots on goal.
Max.
You still have an opportunity here to test a goaltender who has got to be cold.
Helt breaks through a pair. And
that's not going to do it.
Send it in on LaSalle. Hold on. At least get an offensive zone draws. Let's take a look at the goal from Lawson McDougall.
Yeah, and right here, and that's Keene's guy. And, you know, he's streaking hard to the net. McDougall is. You can see Keene a little bit late getting there. That's not enough D. I mean, he's trying to do a little bit of stick work late there, but you see a guy streaking towards the front of the net. You've either got to follow him there or you've got to communicate to your D to pick him up. And to have a rebound, McBurney, there's not really much he can do there. And I think Keene would probably like to have that one back.
Pair of 100-game guys for Hobart. Sternbach in his 110th, able to find McDougall in his 100th career game. A lot of experience out there for Hobart. Beacons team does not have a player who's reached 100 yet. Nakbar is at 97 games as the shot gets knocked down, and the Beacons will just flip it out. This should be an icing, and it really feels like if you switch the uniforms, you're watching one dominant team, only UMass Boston dominated the first, and Hobart has dominated the second.
Well, it's all defense. We got 12 minutes gone by in this second period, and I don't know. I mean, have they had more than a minute in the offensive zone, Seth? I mean, Hobart, really, whatever happened in that intermission report, they came back with a vengeance. And this Beacons team, boy, they need an offensive shift. Even just one will bring them back into this hockey game. They just got to get some sustained pressure in the offensive zone.
Walker over for Nickin, who will try to bring it off the board, sends it in front. It comes in on LaSalle, but there's no one there for the Beacons. Roland with it, tries to flip it in, almost tipped home by Walker. I think LaSalle might have gotten a little bit of that one, but that's certainly the Beacons' best look of the period. Walker gets knocked down. The Beacons asking for a penalty. Peter Belisle is screaming, but no call. And then a shot from the point. Toe save from LaSalle up into the netting. Not a full shift, but certainly one of the better shifts of the period for UMass Boston offensively.
And you needed some of that. You take a look at who Coach Blisle is going to throw out there, and you know what? I'll tell you what. If you needed an offensive draw, you need it right now. It's going to be the third line. You put it on Jack Riley.
That'll be Caruso, actually.
Caruso's going to take it. He likes what he sees here with the matchup. You need a draw here.
Caruso loses it to Will Harrison, the fourth line center for Hobart. This one will come down. Could be an icing, and they're going to wave it off. Nick DeLuzio, the freshman out of Aston, Pennsylvania, head for Caruso. Tries to play it off the boards. Caruso, cross-ice pass, aiming there for Adkins, broken up by Denicourt, who scored the second of Hobart's 3 goals in the period. Albano unable to clear. Right to the stick there of Satin. Satin has it stripped away by Albano. Looking at his options, he'll just flip it out. Not enough for an ice. And it'll give the Beacons a little bit of time to try to set up. This one tipped in. This should be an icing, and it will, as the puck was tipped from behind the red line. And we'll see which unit the Beacons will go with. It looks like they're going to go the top unit. No, the second line of Skinner, Robiak, and Bross. Big loss with Nakbar. I mean, great playmaker. He's also your best faceoff taker, and that hurts today.
Yeah, he's your faceoff guy. It's a great point, Seth. He's your faceoff guy. You'd probably use him in a situation, but here you win one. And if I'm the Beacons, man, if I get a chance to shoot this hockey puck, I'm doing it. I just got to get one on net, and I might even just label one right into the goaltender just to try to really give my opportunity, my offense an opportunity to, as that one gets tangled up, and that's in the back of the net. Oh, boy.
What a bad mistake by Bailey McBurney. He came way out there, no need, and it's put in by Mark Benamarito. That was the first real mistake that McBurney has made, and that is a terrible one to make it 4-3. Benamarito scores his second goal of the year. I think we're going to see an assist for Ryan Lynch, and I mean, Matt, as a former goaltender, we'll look at the play, but I like the aggression of coming out, but you have to pick and choose. And that time, it seemed like an interesting decision from the start, and everything went wrong for McBurney on that play.
Yeah, you pick your spots if you're a goaltender, and that wasn't one of them. He had help coming back. The only time, you know, and I'm all for it. I was a goaltender that liked to play the puck just as much as anybody, but you got to pick your spots. You see 2 defense coming into your zone there. No need to leave your crease. Let them take care of your business. It's a 3-3 hockey game. That's a devastating goal. Hobart with momentum already, and then to get a free one like that, you really put your team at a disadvantage.
Puck is behind the net here for Held. Interesting that the Beacons are not using their timeout here as McGoyan goes wide. It feels like everything is going against this Beacons team, but Peter Belial believing in his group as McBurney settles and makes the save. Let's take a look right now at the goal, and it's not just him coming out. It's a couple of bad pieces of luck as the puck will go through his skates here, and the Beacons unable to clear, bounces right there for Benamarito.
Yeah.
That's just a lot of bad luck.
Yeah, it's a couple bad breaks, but again, McBurney a little bit late clearing this puck, and then it gets caught in his skates, and yeah, just from there, it just starts to go downhill. But you can see how many white jerseys, and you know, what I look for when a goaltender, plays the puck is just a quick release, know what you're going to do with it when you get there. He got trapped, he got a little bit pinned, he didn't have a place to put it. He could have gone backhand, and he had help there, but he went forehand, it got trapped, got in his skates. Next thing you know, there's a hole in front of the net, and you're down 4-3. If I'm UMass Boston, I need somebody to make a hit here. I really do. I think the offense, you're struggling. You're looking a little bit scared. I need somebody to come out here and make a big hit to rally the troops and get this bench a little bit live. You need a little bit of sandpaper right now.
Yeah, the Beacons could desperately use a hit, a power play, something. This period has been, we talked about the best period of the Beacons season here at home. Well, this has probably been the worst period, and there's still 4:52 to go. So Riley will try to track it down. Riley with a little speed, able to get out of the zone, but only as far as the red line where it's picked up there by Satin. Petrozello will collect off the boards, and it's picked up off the boards. Here's a chance. It goes off the back of Roland, who had his back to the play, able to deny Robitaille a look on target. That was a little bit of sheer luck as Roland wasn't even facing the shooter that time. Schultz's shot gets knocked down by Robiak, but Schultz the first one to it. Chips it around the boards. Collected there by Sliney. It'll come out as Schultz wasn't able to hold on. Rather, Martineau. Lynch being badgered by DeLuzio. Puck is loose underneath the pair. 4:05 to go in a second period that Hobart has scored each of the first 4 goals. Up top, Longo sliding across for Faulkner to score the first goal. Rebound tipped home. It was Martineau the tip. And then following up on the rebound, just got to see the man coming out of the scramble. And let's see who's going to claim the goal. It's Alec Robitaille, his team-leading 12th goal, and this is an avalanche right now.
Yeah, you've given up 5 in a period, and if I'm Coach Blyle, I'm either taking a timeout or I'm thinking about a goalie change. Nothing against McBurney. Some of these he couldn't have back, but you got to change something up. You are bleeding out right now. 5 in a period, and there's still 4 to play. You got to do something. It's too many. That's way too many to give up, especially you're up. You've got 5 unanswered goals on the board here, Seth. This is about as bad as it gets for 1 period.
We'll get an icing call on the Beacons, as that was just behind the red line. UMass Boston has 2 things you can use right now. You can use your timeout, you can use a goalie change. And Peter Belisle had a long conversation with Sean Pauly and Stephen Bucco and didn't elect to use either. Would you have used your timeout at this point?
I would have done something. You've given up 5 in a period. Absolutely, a timeout. And again, nothing against McBurney. I think a few of these, there's no chance, for him to make a save. But that last one hit him in the chest, and he gave up a rebound. I think he's scrambling right now. Your team is 100% scrambling. You got to do something. You've given up 5 in a period. Now all of a sudden you're down 2. 5 unanswered goals. You're basically bleeding out right now. You've got to do something.
And it feels like Hobart are a bunch of sharks right now, and they are just eyes wide open, very aggressive, very comfortable in the situation, as they have been all over UMass Boston as the puck will be tipped down. This is going to be an icing, and we've seen maybe 1 good shift. Let's take a look here at the play. It's the initial shot. It's tipped by Martineau, and then the rebound is just poked home by Alec Robitaille. But again, I mean, this hits McBurney, unable to hold on to the rebound, and it just falls right for Robitaille.
Yeah, you need a senior goaltender to lock that down, especially the way this period's gone. Now, if that was the first one he gave up, he gets a pass. But, you've given up 4. That's the 5th. And, yeah, I'd start, throwing pens too if I was the coaching staff.
Ethan Nicken over for Chris Peters. The Beacons really have had 1 good shift in the offensive zone this entire period. Nicken is pinned in, and the puck will come just out of the zone. And with speed the other way is Lynch, tied up by his number counterpart Walker. Good job back-checking by the Beacons freshman out of Mason, Michigan. Now a foot race, and Nicken is not able to get there in time. Was probably a little bit ahead of Andrew Longo, but not enough, and we'll see an offensive zone draw. And right now, Matt, it feels like the Beacons' only hope is to get this clock to burn out in the second and see if they can make an adjustment, just like Hobart did after the first.
I look up at the clock, I see 2:43, and if I'm the coaching staff, I got to try to find a way to get one. If I can get 1 and make it 5-4, all of a sudden you erase some of the damage that's been done in this period. Now, obviously, giving up 5 was not ideal. I don't think that was something that the Beacons thought might happen in this period, but I still have time to make it close for this third. Got to find a way. No offense. Seth, there's been no offense this period.
If I had to guess, I would say shots are 20-3, 20-4 here
and that's
in the second period.
Favorable.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I'm not sure the Beacons have 4, and Hobart might have more than 20. That's 16 in the first period, and they were outplayed in terms of the quality of chances. Pushing and shoving along the bench. Albano getting into it there with McGoyan. Just out of the reach of Snyder, who tries to track it down. And good speed from Dakota Keene,
oh boy,
who goes hard into the boards, but appears to be okay as he gets up quickly. That could have been very bad.
Yeah, I never like to see that. I've seen a bunch of guys get hurt on that type of play. But Keene, you can see, got a little bit of vengeance. This is what the Beacons need. Somebody coming out with a little bit of anger.
Helt avoids the big hit as Schneider bounces off of him, and he'll play it behind the boards. 1:41 to go. It's Bogan bringing it out of the zone, looking for the stretch pass for Caruso, and it's Keene coming in. Keene looking for a goal and goes right into the body there of Schultz, and some pushing and shoving after the fact from the typically mild-mannered Dakota Keene. The puck will be brought in. Helt trying to tie up McDougal, and Caruso will join in on the double hit. Helt lost his stick there. Sternbach will flip it out all the way to the blue line. That's Schultz with it. 1:15 to go in what has been a catastrophic second period. Chance in the slot, and the shot gets knocked down by Keene on the look from Howe. Keene from a knee looking to play it into the zone. It's picked up by Schultz. 1 minute to go in this second period. Stretch pass out of the reach of Sternbach, but he'll win the foot race. Centering feet looking for Howe, and it bounces off the stick of a Beacon. 50 seconds left now. Skinner through a couple players, no look pass, able to find its way to Bross. Bross tries to toe drag his way through, but lost the puck on the way through. And Jake Atkins says, well, if you're not going to play the puck, Matt Sternbach, I'm going to at least try to put a body on you. Coming away with it is Bross for Roland, looking for that first collegiate goal, and LaSalle will make the save. And you're right, the net's not only off, it's off both moorings, and the referees never blew the whistle.
If that went in, that would have been really interesting. I'm curious what the play would have been there, because the net was it wasn't just slightly, it was very off. It's interesting. The refs let it play, though. LaSalle, how about LaSalle? Comes into it, now he has a chance to win a hockey game. Comes into a hockey game down 3-0. You're thinking, boy, if you're coming off the bench, you're like, oh, man, I hope I don't get scored on right away. Next thing you know, your team scores 5, you're up 5-3, you got a chance to win a game. Unbelievable. Hockey's really screwy that way.
Well, there's a reason that this Hobart team, we're going to get a penalty on UMass Boston on the back check. Oh, that's a tough one. UMass Boston will go on the penalty kill for the third time in the period with 20.4 to go. It'll be Adkins taking it. I didn't see what the referee blew the whistle for.
Interference.
And
call.
That's tough because now the Beacons will not only end the period on the penalty kill, potentially, but even if they're able to settle down a little bit between the second and third.
Well, that you just got to get. You got 20 seconds. You got to get the hell out of here. I mean, you've given up 5 in a period. You give up a 6th, and I mean, you've got 20 seconds. You just got to get to the locker room right now.
Face off won by Hobart. Teeing up a shot is Schultz, and it gets knocked down, and somehow McBurney finds it. A lot of traffic in front. McBurney just threw the bottom of his stick into the back of Schneider. He's not a happy camper right now, and really I don't blame Bailey McBurney, who was not at fault at all for the first 2 goals. But that 4th one he'd love to have back, even the 5th one where he's unable to hold on to the rebound.
Yeah, none of these I don't think would qualify as soft, but again,
No, the 4th one where he came out of the net to play, that was bad luck, but also I would say extremely soft, just in the way the Beacons had numbers and it bounced right to a Hobart player. Here's Schultz with 5 seconds to Schneider. Schneider forces the save from McBurney, turnaround shot, and that one goes high into the netting. Clock says 0.0. Hobart asking for at least a second to go. They should have a couple tenths of a second, and let's see what the referees are going to do. They are going to say stay on the bench, despite Jeffrey Skinner and a couple other Beacons really hoping they can head to the locker room.
1 second at most. I'd agree with you, Seth. The 4th one, you want to put it as soft. We'll put it as soft. He made a bad play.
Yeah, well, I'm not calling it on McBurney soft, but as a team, it's not a goal you can give up.
You needed a save. You gave up 5. You know what?
The 4th one is when he came out. Is what I'm saying.
This is what makes goaltending so hard. You gave up 5 in a period. You needed at a certain point to stop the bleeding. You needed a couple saves and to try to transition down the other way. And when you didn't get it, now all of a sudden you put yourself where, oh my God, how the heck did this happen? We were up 3-0. Now we're down by 2. And that's what makes goaltending so difficult. It's not as easy as just, hey, he made 30 saves, he had a good night. Sometimes McBurney was playing really well in this hockey game, and quite honestly, I don't think he was at fault for the majority of these goals.
I would say the first one at most, or the 4th one at most.
That's it. But nevertheless, he's given up 5. And the team itself has looked drastically different. And boy, the other thing too, what a microcosm of the season. And this is kind of the way the Beacons have gone. They've looked so mighty at times, and then at the other times, they look like they forgot how to play hockey. And I was worried about this, Seth. We'll talk more at the intermission. I was worried after the first period that they would take too big of a deep breath and take their foot off the gas. And it felt a little bit like they gave Hobart an opportunity early on. We talked about it where we knew the first 5 minutes were going to be so crucial. They gave Hobart a chance to breathe, and unfortunately for the 5th-ranked team in the country, you give them a chance to breathe. Next thing you know, you've got a 5 spot on the board. So 1.1 here left in the second period. You basically just want to fall on this if you're the center.
And the shot,
and
McBurney had to know
that's
where the puck is, and
Seth, that's
somehow
unbelievable.
He makes the save.
That's unbelievable how the center just doesn't fall on that. That could have very easily been 6. And that is worst case scenario, and you can see it on the ice. You see the way that just a lot of Beacons, even the coaching staff, just kind of looking around. How the heck did this happen?
Well, Matt, you're the analyst. How did this happen?
You gave up way too much. You got a little bit cocky. You scored 3 quick. You look great coming out of the gate. You took advantage of the bus legs, whatever you want to call it. You got 3. You went into the second period, and I can guarantee you, without being down there, I can guarantee you what happened. There was high-fiving. There was chummy. You know, guys probably talking about what they were going to go get for dinner later, and you forgot that you had a whole nother, not just 1, but 2 periods left to play. And I can tell you what happened in the other locker room. Hobart started getting a little bit ticked off, and they said, guys, we're the number 5 team in the country. This is a UMass team that's a little bit weaker this year. We got to find a way to get back into this hockey game. I don't think they thought they would score 5. I can tell you that. I don't know a lot of teams that come out of the first period and say, hey, let's go get 5 in the second period. Maybe they did. I don't know. But this is about as bad as it gets if you're UMass Boston, to have this amount of confidence and walk out of here with a 2-goal deficit. Now, you take a look at what's on your screen here, and you've got your captain, Dakota Keene, having a conversation with the referee. I'm curious as to what this might be. I think there was a question about one of the penalties that was called. I saw Coach Blyle get a little bit upset. I think it was the Albano.
Or not called as well.
I think it was the Albano. If I had to guess, it was the Albano penalty behind the net, because quite honestly, folks, I thought that was a fairly decent play. I didn't think a penalty was warranted. So I wouldn't be surprised if Keene is asking, hey, you put us pretty short-handed, and that's probably it. He's asking, hey, you put us short-handed a lot in that period. Are we going to get a little bit back in the third? Nevertheless, there was 0 offense in that period. 0. You could have put a Mike goalie in the net. It wouldn't have mattered. That was pretty much a nothing in terms of offense. So if I'm Coach Blyle, I've got to find a way to spark. Now, hey, if he takes McBurney out, puts the backup in, puts Best in, puts Egbert in, I could see that. I could see him jumbling all the lines. Maybe try to spark something. Got to do something. You gave a 5 in the period. Unacceptable.
Well, we just talked about Dakota Keene. Let's hear from Dakota Keene talking about some of his community service work. Keene was named one of 5 finalists for the Hockey Humanitarian Award, which goes to the top hockey player at Division I, Division II, Division III for their work off the ice. And Keene has been instrumental in doing a lot of community service work, both at UMass Boston and in the greater Boston area.
I was super excited my freshman year. I had Albie Daly as a captain, and then Liam Kavanaugh, hockey operations guy, who were both big on the mental health. So kind of since I've been here as a freshman, it's been a big part of our team and culture. And once I heard that there was the opportunity to kind of add that here again, I really wanted to take charge and lead that. I definitely think it stuck out to me. It was started by 2 hockey players, guys that I played against my freshman year. So knowing kind of the background that they come from, very similar to me and the rest of our team, I knew it would be a big help for our group. But mental health has just become so big nowadays that I think it really could help every team on campus. It can even help kids that aren't on a sports team here. Just kind of brings that talk about throughout the campus, and I think it helps everyone understand that it is okay to talk about. Originally, we started with different posters each month, and what we did was we had every team design their own. So that was a good way to kind of open it up to everyone. Even though it was a small group that kind of started the chapter here, that opened it up to everyone on campus for all the athletes. I think that brought everyone in. Then we moved into T-shirts for all the teams, and we actually had the Hope Happens Here games. That just allowed them to have something to wear at all of those games, and I think it helped just bring visibility to all of it, and that we even started that here. Originally, when I first started thinking about it, I mean, you watch all these NHL games, they have these different jerseys for different causes. And right away I was like, yeah, we need to do that. We need to have some sort of jersey. The T-shirts are awesome, but for us, if we can have a jersey that we wear during the game, that's huge. And obviously being on the hockey team, I really wanted to make that a big event. And I thought that we could really do something pretty big to help out Hope Happens Here. And I think doing the jerseys and everything that we did that night really did help. I come from a family of a super artistic background, so I took full lead on designing the jerseys. That was something that I was excited to do. You don't really get a chance ever to design your own team's jerseys, so it started a long time ago. I knew that we would be having a game, and I knew I needed to kind of get ahead of it to get jerseys here on time. So obviously as some people may have noticed, they look very similar to our baseball team's third jerseys. I love the look of those. Thought that they could look really good as hockey jerseys, so we made a few tweaks to those. I added the Hope Happens Here logo, and that's kind of how those came about. We actually ended up raising $2,500. That actually goes directly back to Hope Happens Here. So now they will kind of use that to just continue growing knowledge about everything and helping other schools start chapters as well.
Welcome back after what was, I don't know, Matt, I would say the worst period of hockey I've ever seen UMass Boston play here at home in the last 10 years. I mean, you've seen probably almost as many, if not more than I have.
I've seen worse. This was just so predictable. It really was. This was so predictable. You could feel, I took a look at the bench, Seth, after the first period, and there were so many guys. Hey, yeah, let's go. Hey, point night, boys. Let's roll. They forgot they were playing the 5th team in the country. Okay? And you go into the locker room, same thing. I can guarantee it. I've seen it a million times. You forget that there's still another 2 periods to play. And Hobart was in there like, hey, we got to wake up. We're down 3. We got to do something. So we'll just go out and we'll put up 5. No big deal. Take it right back. UMass at home. That's the other thing. They're at home. This isn't even on the road. On the road, you have an excuse. At home, no excuse. Terrible.
Let's take a look at the scoring summary. It all started on the power play at 3:52. Mike Faulkner, his first goal of the year. Boy, was it a good one. Julian Denicourt, another defenseman, scored in the power play at 6:45. Then it was Lawson McDougall at 10:33. We take a look at the second scoring page. Yes, we've already seen an entire scoring summary sheet of goals in the first 2 periods. Mark Benamarito made it 4-3 unassisted.
His was about as easy as it gets, huh?
Yeah, I mean, 3 beacons there, deflects
Not
right
a lot
to
of
him.
skill needed for that one.
Empty net for Benamarito, and then it was Alec Robitaille picking up the rebound on the shot from distance. It was tipped by P.A. Martineau and putting it home 16:06. The tough part for the Beacons, Hobart will start the third period on a power play, 1:40 to go. So it just gets more difficult as we take a look at the statistics. Matt, 34-21 in favor of Hobart after they outshot the Beacons 18-6 in the second period, and that doesn't sound as lopsided as I expected.
No, but I think the statistic category that we're missing is time of possession, and I think it was probably 18 minutes Hobart, maybe 2 minutes UMass Boston. It's just complete domination. Now, we've talked enough about what happened. Going into the third period, you're down 2. Got to kill off the penalty, okay? You found a way to find the back of the net 3 times. You also have a goaltender who has not faced any rubber and who's come off the bench. So he hasn't had his warm-up, and you blasted one from the blue line into his chest. Doesn't really take a lot to stop that one. So if you're UMass, let's find a little bit of confidence, okay? It's not like we're getting shut out 5-0. You put 3 on the board, got to find a way to get 1, kill off the penalty, get 1, all of a sudden it's 5-4. Let's not pretend like we're getting our doors blown off here, okay? You're only down 2. What happened to our confidence? Let's find it. Come back out here, kill off the penalty, get back into this hockey game. If I'm Hobart, boy, we're cruising. Oh, we're cruising. We got 20 minutes. We're going to probably take it to you. If I'm Hobart, I come out. First 5 minutes, I'm rolling 4 lines, and I'm telling them, hit anything. Put this team away physically. You've got the lead. Put them away physically, okay? End their will to come back into this hockey game, and we'll walk out of here with 2 points.
Right now, let's take a look around the rest of Beaconville. The women's hockey team suffered a 3-1 loss, a close game in which they were down 2-1 into the final minute. Katie Leffler scored a shorthanded goal, and Katie Flagg made 37 saves. The women's and men's basketball team, they're at Western Connecticut State on President's Day, Monday at 2 and 4. It's funny, those games were caused to be delayed and postponed because of coronavirus. Because the Beacons had UMass Boston had that 1 confirmed case. We haven't heard anything about coronavirus since then. saw a map yesterday. There's only the one case. It is at UMass Boston, but fortunately they've done a
Thank you
great
for
job.
reminding me.
They've done a great job of containing it.
Yes.
It's nice to see that UMass Boston, the city of Boston, have done such a good job in terms of.
I'm sure the mothers out there are very excited to hear you mention
Let's talk about some good news. That's
yes,
good news, right?
I would love to talk about good news.
Let's take a look around the rest of the conference. Here's some good news if you're a Hobart fan. They need at least a point from Skidmore in that game against Babson to potentially get the 2 seed. Skidmore able to score the lone goal of the second period. Suffolk and Castleton, the big one in terms of trying to get into the postseason. The other 7 teams safely in. That A spot will be decided this weekend between those two. It's 3-3 after 2. And Norwich leads Johnson and Wales 3-0 after 2 as they add 2 goals in the second period. Right now, let's take a look at highlights from the second period in Matt. It's a lot of Hobart goals and 1 UMass Boston chance.
Yeah, if you're a Beacon fan, just go get yourself something to eat. Maybe grab a beer. No need to watch right now because this is going to be all Hobart. The first goal here, that's a bottle popper. Put yourselves on the board. McBurney didn't even know it went in the back of the net. Here's another one posting in. No chance for your goaltender. We'll just give up the slot. No big deal. Watch this. Nobody around. Right to the slot. Nobody there. That's not good D. That was 2. Here's McBurney. Rebound. Kicked right back out into the slot. Keene a little bit late getting there. Hobart ties it up at 3. Again, watch. Rebound. Right back into the slot. Pretty easy for a forward to tuck that one home. 3-3. Here's this. I guess this is the only opportunity UMass had. It was redirected. That one really could have found the back of the net. This one by McBurney. You just go on the back end there. You got 3 guys on the other side. He gets tangled up in the skates. Ben and Marito. I got Dave next to me. He runs our. You got something to say, Dave? You want to jump in? No, he doesn't want to jump in. You could have scored that. You could have scored that one though, Dave. I'm guarantee it. That made it 4-3 Hobart. And then here's the last one late in the period. A rebound. That one hit him in the chest, hit McBurney in the chest. The rebound tucked home to make it 5-3. All Hobart. And, boy, if McBurney could have found a way to corral that rebound, and it's only 4-3, we're singing a different song, but 5-3, feeling like backs against the wall. But, again, still only down 2. And that's a manageable lead. You take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Beacons, and you can see how important this game is. You got 1 game away from senior night. You're down 2 here at home. Got to find a way to get some points here with a Skidmore team that is a formidable opponent you're chasing, playing Babson here tonight. So, really, this is your regular season if you're UMass Boston. You got 4 periods left to put yourself in a position to get yourself some home ice for this conference play. We'll take a quick commercial break and be back after this as the referee's about to take the ice for the 3rd period here at the Edward T. Berry Ice Arena.
UMass Boston is a special place that needs and it deserves a special leader.
My mother, she saw the dark clouds that were gathering in Argentina. She became convinced that it was very important for me to seek safety in the United States.
The young man who spoke only Spanish at the time found his way to a community college in California.
And I was blessed because I could transfer to the University of California, Berkeley. I really understood the extraordinary power of the public research university.
I am very proud to recommend Marcelo Suarez Orozco be appointed Chancellor of the University of Massachusetts, Boston.
He's a person who's made it here through public education, so he becomes the personification of all that UMass can provide to our students.
Everyone's going to be excited about having him as our next Chancellor.
I am grateful, I am humble, I am delighted. Muchas gracias.
UMass Boston takes the ice before the start of the 3rd period, trailing 5-3. Remember, folks, you can follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram at UMass Beacons. Matt, a great first period, not so great second period, and that's putting it lightly. How important, let's just keep it very basic, how important is this opening penalty kill to the Beacons' chances of staying in this game?
I'll tell you what, I'm getting some alumni texts right now. The Beacons are getting crushed. The people turned in, the alumni that are tuned in right now, just crushing this Beacons team after giving up 5 at home in a game that you have to win. So how big is this penalty kill? Pretty, yeah, pretty big. I think that if you give up another one here, you really are in a tough spot. The confidence is a little bit shaken, and this Hobart team is feeling pretty good. I mean, they gave up 3 in the first period. Now all of a sudden they're up 2. So they're feeling pretty powerful right now. And, you know, I wonder if I'm Coach Blau, he comes back out with McBurney, and I wonder what the leash is going to be. Because you've got a couple cards here to play if you're UMass Boston. And again, I don't think any of these are necessarily McBurney's fault other than the fourth against Benamarito. Coaching staff's still talking. And I guarantee you this has to do with the amount of penalties that were called for Hobart versus UMass Boston. And you can see, and when Coach Blau's demonstrating like that, he's talking, hey, you gave them a couple calls, which is fine, but let's just make sure we're going both ways here.
Matt Reigert and Chris Shepley are today's officials. Daniel Gauvin and Kevin Manley are the linesmen. We can't start this third period, wow. Because
I wish it was the second period.
Peter Belisle is still talking to Chris Shepley and one of the linesmen. Remember,
and he doesn't do this. He doesn't do
not
this
frequently.
unless he has a valid case, honestly.
He was screaming. There was a play with about 5 minutes left in the second. I think it might have still been 4-3 at that point, where a Beacon went down in the zone, and he was screaming for a penalty and did not get it. So it'll be interesting as we start the third. The Beacons are on the penalty kill for 1:40. They don't have it up on the board, but it will be Hobart on the man advantage. A 5-on-4 here is bringing it into the zone, and taking a hit is Aaron McGuillan, who does lead this Hobart team with his 4 power play goals this year. 40 seconds gone by on the man advantage as it'll be controlled here. Nice job keeping the puck on the stick in the neutral zone as Tyson, as Bross got knocked down away from the puck, and that the Beacons were asking where a possible interference call was. Schultz to Faulkner scored the first of the 5 goals in the second, his first goal of the season for the junior out of the Bronx. Back up top for Schultz. Schultz down low looking for Schneider. Back up for Schultz with 50 seconds gone by in the period. 1:10 gone by on the man advantage. Behind the net, it's Tyson looking for McGoyan. And the Beacons have a chance to clear. DeLuzio doesn't get much behind it. It was just knocked down. Now it's Nicken, and he'll be tied up along the boards. Minute gone by in the period. 1:20 gone by on the man advantage, which still is not up on the board. It's a chance here for Lynch over for Faulkner. His pass is stripped away. Nicken avoids the hit and will clear the zone. Big play by Ethan Nicken.
Yeah, that's huge. That's really huge. You got to find a way, like we talked about, to kill this off, and that type of kill will do it. They get a change there. UMass does.
And we're down to the final 10 seconds of the man advantage. That one is flipped into the Beacons bench, and we'll get a face-off at center ice with 9 seconds to go on the man advantage. Apologize for losing the scoreboard for at least a moment. 18:29 to go in period number 3. The Beacons desperately looking to finish off these final 9 seconds on the kill. They'll get Adkins back and then hopefully get things going. They've done a better job here on this penalty kill after giving up goals on each of the last 2 of limiting Hobart's chances.
The next line has to be ready after this penalty kill. If they can do their job, you have to be ready to generate some offense.
Back to 5-on-5 hockey as the Beacons successfully get their second kill of the game. Hobart now 2 of 4 after the Beacons held the Statesmen to an 0-for-3 mark the first time these two teams played. Howell, the backhand look over for Sternbach, and he'll find McDougall on the boards. Those two hooked up on the third goal of that second period. McDougall comes away with the puck, looking for options. It'll just flip it down low, aiming for Sternbach, but getting to it first is Petrozella. Caruso unable to get it out of the zone. The Beacons, talk about getting a shift after, as that shot is knocked into Petrozella and right back at Denicourt. Beacons haven't been able to get it out of the zone since the man advantage ended, as Keene will finally flip it out to the neutral zone, but immediately handled by Hobart, and Denicourt will bring it right back in as he tees up a slap shot, and McBurney will make a save on the high riser.
Well, I don't know if we can get a shot down by McBurney in the corner, but a few alumni actually, and Chuckrin, McGregor, and Gannon. And McGregor's expression explains it all. Just kind of curious as to what the heck happened to our team here. These guys, we're playing with these guys not that long ago, so we'll see here as we play 5-a-side if UMass can get back in this game.
Well, remember the last time these two teams played in Boston is there's a big hit from Nicken.
That's what you need.
Knocking down Phil Satin. Last time these two teams played, we thought Hobart might have ended the Beacon season as in the NEHC semifinals. It was Hobart 4-0 over the top-seeded Beacons. Puck bounces around, still in the Beacon zone. Beacons got the at-large bid and got one more game that year. Here's a shot from Schultz that goes wide. This Hobart team is good, but it was more the difference between the two periods that has left a lot of the Beacons fans questioning what's going on. Nicken able to get as far as the red line. We haven't seen the Beacons gain the zone yet as McBurney will drop it, hoping to find a teammate, has to hold on. I mean, it's been better defensively, but there's still zero offensive momentum.
Well, and on top of that, with a 2-goal lead, yeah, and there you go. There you go, folks, what I described. You take a look at Alumni. Do they look happy? I don't think so. Not too pleased. McGregor cracking maybe a little joke with Gannon right there. Good job by our camera crew to get a shot there, but Kyle Penny, nice work. But UMass got to find a way to get some offense. And I keep repeating myself, but like you said, I mean, they can't even game the neutral zone. They've got to find a way to get down the other end and generate a couple shots on goal. You're down 2 here, and if you're Hobart, boy, you can just get into a little bit of a forechecking powerhouse where you can go 1-2-2 and really clog things up in the neutral zone.
Adkins with a little bit of momentum gains the zone and is taken down, and that's not enough for a call. Looked like he was roped a bit, and then clearing the boards and everything was Chase Bell. We'll see an offensive zone draw, the first of the period for UMass Boston.
This is so imperative. So imperative to just even, you got to win it and just try to get a shot on goal. Don't try to do too much. Don't try to get everything back. You're not going to be able to put one in the back of the net and score 2, and sure enough, they lose the draw. Hobart should be able to clear this out.
Riley unable to win the draw, but Keene able to keep it in. Keene out there with Caruso and Riley, a new look third line for the Beacons. Caruso's shot well wide of the net. Petruzzello will pinch. Petruzzello below the goal line, tries to get to the front of the net and tried to poke that one in along the near post. That's the Beacons' best look of the period by far as Joe Petruzzello took it upon himself. Denicourt into the zone, already has one, and his shot is tipped up into the netting by Dakota Keene. And now some pushing and shoving. I don't know what Ryan Lynch is so upset about, but he was chopping at the back of a Beacon. We should see some kind of penalty on Lynch, and I would assume Rowland here, matching roughing or hitting after the whistle, because Lynch took a couple hacks at the Beacon's captain, and Ryan Rowland was not having it.
Yeah, let's take a look what might be called here, because it did seem like it was well after the whistle. The referee's probably going to take both.
Yeah, Rowland's certainly going. You got to assume Lynch will. As now Keene's having words with Denicourt.
It's kind of a smart play, actually, now that I think about it, if you're Hobart, because if you can take the focus away from scoring goals and make it about trying to roughhouse, you can just milk the clock. Already almost 5 gone, and you break this the third period down into 4 quarters, really. If you can get in 5-minute increments without UMass scoring, you're doing your job. So if I'm Hobart, I actually don't mind that. I can take matching penalties the rest of the night if I can get UMass's focus on, trying to cross-check me in the back versus trying to put one in the back of the net.
So it'll be 4-on-4 here. Ryan Lynch for Hobart, Ryan Rowland for UMass Boston. And that one will go up over McBurney. We'll see if the little bit of extra ice helps UMass Boston anyway. Won't be easy against the Hobart team that skates so well. Right now it's Nicken, Mason, Walker, and DeLuzio. Rather, Albano, Nicken, Walker, and DeLuzio. Albano leads the rush over for Nicken, who had 2 assists in the first period. Back for Albano and forces the blocker save. Easily the best save we've seen from Liam Lascelles, who came on and had to make 6 saves in the second after Joe Hallstrom gave up 3 goals in the first. Walker to the front of the net. Lascelles rebound and somehow kept out. I'm not sure if it was Lascelles or Schultz who kept that out and ends up in the pads of Liam Lascelles. Easily could have been the 4th for the Beacons.
Nicken. Oh, Nicken. Bear down, my friend. Bear down there. You got one laying in the front of the net. You know your team needs a goal. That one's got to get in.
This is the pushing and shoving after the play that led to the 4-on-4s. We're back to live action. Beacons are finally getting some chances. I think you can count at least 3 here in the third period after they maybe had 1 or 2 in the second, but unable to beat Liam Lascelles, who made 27 saves on 29 shots up in Geneva the first time these two teams met to earn the win. Backdoor feed here. Faulkner diming his way through traffic, tried to find Coffey, and it bounces away as Peters will feed it over for Bogan. Albano and Bogan, the defensive pairing. They don't usually work together, but Beacon's looking for some offense. It's Peters now trying to go back for Albano, broken up, and Blake Coffey will collect with 40 to go on the 4-on-4, 14-10 to go in the third period. No reason for Mike Faulkner to rush here. It says 3 other players will get back out on the ice. Faulkner will float it. It's gloved down there by Albano, who's been out on the ice for the entire 4-on-4 as Bross loses an edge in the neutral zone. Albano tries to flip it ahead for Bross, who nearly came up with the puck amongst a pair of Statesmen. Now it's Peters leaving it for Albano, and his shot goes wide. Bogan with 5 to go on the 4-on-4. Bogan behind the net looking for a centering feed, gets it to Peters, but it's knocked away. This should be an icing, and it will be. And we'll get an offensive zone draw as
LaSalle got one for free there. Peters had that one at just maybe another couple inches. That's in the back of the net. LaSalle, he made a good save. I don't want to take anything away from him, but I don't think he saw it. I think he kind of threw his pad out just a little bit and was able to get a save there. But nevertheless, a good stop and keeps his team ahead by 2 now.
We've got a penalty on Hobart on the board right now.
Yeah, interesting. I didn't see a call.
I almost wonder if it's too many men, because they came off on the 4-on-4 and the Beacons were in the zone. I wonder if Hobart, who's screaming about it right now, if that's the call. And now it looks like they might be waving it off.
Taking it off, yeah.
And the Beacons coaching staff just can't believe it. They put it up on the board almost immediately. Here's some of the chances the Beacons had. That's the look from Ethan Nicken going right into LaSalle.
That's the one I think that you need to have.
It's Walker.
Right there. Bear down, man. You got the whole net.
I don't know if that's LaSalle or Schultz who actually made the stop there.
That one's got to get in the back of the net, though, Seth. You really need your team to inspire some confidence, and to just. That's one where I like to you drop your lower hand, you get your backside into it, and you make sure you don't flick it like that. But either way, Beacons looked like they were going to get a power play there. Nevertheless, they're 5 aside.
Back to 5-on-5 hockey, 13:30 to go. At least the Beacons have looked like they've woken up a bit offensively, creating some chances over the last 3 to 4 minutes. Petrozella knocks it down with his skate a couple of times here. The Beacons trying to find the loose puck. Riley has it broken up. Keene played it with a high stick, and they'll allow play to continue. Working with it here is Satin, who feeds it off of Longo and ahead into the neutral zone. Harrison a backhand, Robitaille backhand feed all the way into McBurney, and he'll hold on to it with 13 minutes to go. Matt, we've seen a more even third period. Are the Beacons doing enough where you think that maybe they can get a goal or two?
Yeah, even if you're a Beacon fan, even period is bad. That means you lose this hockey game. You've got to find a way to get some momentum here, and you've had a couple chances. You just haven't been able to bury. If they can get one, it inspires confidence. Still plenty of time in this hockey game. I mean, we know what happened in the first period and what happened in the second period, but quite honestly, if you broke it down and you were down 2 at home in the third period, I think you'd be okay with trying to find a way back into the game. So got to try to find a way to bury what's already happened, what's already on the scoreboard, and figure out a way to get some offense. But you can see the way Hobart's approaching this game, Seth. At this point, up 2, you can really just try to clog the neutral zone and not allow UMass Boston to break out of their own zone with any type of speed. And so the only thing left is to try and pass it, and then this is what you get. If you don't connect, it's an icing. Now that one waved off, but Hobart making really life difficult right now for the Beacons.
Peters picks it up in the neutral zone, trying to find Nick, and eventually it's Albano who will fire it just wide of the blocker of LaSalle. Shot was well wide. Peters picks it up once again, looks ahead, finds Nicken. Nicken has Walker. Walker, it's amongst his skates, tries to go back for Nicken, broken up. Now it's Albano who hits the outside of the post.
Rang it up. Oh, man, Beacons just doing everything but putting one in the back. That one off the post.
Puck is loose in the neutral zone. Albano applies a nice hit to Lynch there. We've got a stoppage here with 11:57 to go in regulation. And we'll get a face-off right at center ice. Beacons win a face-off. It's been a little bit of a rarity. Without Daniel Nakbar, UMass Boston's been short in the center spot as the pass is picked up. They're going to go on icing there, delayed icing.
Yeah, and you know what, Seth, the one thing I'm thinking about, and you take a look at you got 11:46 here in the third period. You're down 2, and the coaching staff already moving the lines around a little bit. You know, you almost wonder, do we start to maybe pull something out of the back of the playbook that we wouldn't normally run? Hobart is going to try to clog the neutral zone. So, you know, a couple things I've seen, you maybe try to use the glass and spring a guy down the wall, or shoot a guy across in the neutral zone, off the wall, across the neutral zone, and try to fill it with a back wing as that puck off the wall almost came out in towards the front. But you just try to get a little bit creative and see if you can generate some offense with, you know, some things you normally wouldn't do otherwise.
Zach Bross is hit hard into the boards, and again, we hear Peter Belisle screaming, asking for a penalty there. Bross will come in and hit Aaron McGoyan right at center ice. Bouncing puck, Skinner able to deflect it ahead for Bross, who still has a little bit of ice on the back of his jersey. The Beacons are offside, and they'll have to touch up. Gives Satin a little bit of time in the zone. Off the boards, perfect pass for Schneider, who will take a shot, and McBurney able to make the glove save with 10:54 to go in the third period. And right now, time is definitely on Hobart's side.
And this is fine. If you're the Statesmen, you're fine with this. I mean, we've worked hard in the second period to get ourselves up by 2. We are more than happy to just take face-off after face-off and slowly wind this clock down.
Face-off 1, and a shot from McDougall is saved by McBurney, who played great in the first period, had some struggles in the second, but has actually played pretty well despite giving up the 5 goals. Keene trying to get it off the wall and ahead for Riley. Riley over for Caruso. Back for Riley. Held head to the front of the net, and Helt is unable to hold on. Helt takes a big hit into the boards from his own momentum there.
Helt might be hurt here, Seth. Took a big hit there.
Yeah, skating a little bit slowly. We'll see. Makes the turn here. It's going with Riley 2-on-3. Riley outside. Forces the rebound. Caruso collects. And he was too far wide to get the shot off initially. Now Bogan through traffic, knocked down off Caruso, gets a shot off. A second one, lifts it high, was over the shoulder of Lascelles, but just a little bit wide as well. Good look there from Derek Caruso.
Yeah, he's the guy that can provide you a spark. 10 in white, and you can see there at least 2, maybe 3 shots on goal on that shift. That's got to inspire the bench at least a little bit.
Bell, the cross-ice pass perfectly to the stick of Brendan Howe, who will send it in on McBurney, will hold on. Seen Hobart do that a lot tonight. Be effective at just getting the puck in deep enough on McBurney where he has to cover up, forcing offensive zone draws.
Yeah, because guess what? All of a sudden you look up at the clock and you got less than 10 minutes left, and it's already half the period gone. You're still up by 2. So you put it on your centerman to just continue to win draws. You know, we'll work the clock, and you see it in all the time in hockey games. You get a 2-goal lead in the third period. You don't really have to do much offensively. You just got to be physical, clog the neutral zone, and wind that clock however you draw it up. It doesn't matter. You just work that clock down as best you can.
McBurney comes out of his net, able to get back in his net this time. Had that awkward 4th goal where waited a little bit too long. This time the puck comes out of the zone, and it's collected by Petruzella up high. Working with it is Nicken. Nicken trying to evade a pair of players. Feeds it ahead for Peters. Peters right to the stick of Walker. Walker bouncing his way through. Draws a penalty. And the Beacons finally get that power play chance as we finally get a touch from Hobart. Andy Walker, I believe it'll be a hook. And UMass Boston, this is as vital a power play as you'll see for the Beacons. Yep. They get their first look since the first period. 0 for 2 thus far to be Dan Sliney heading to the box. As here we get a couple looks at the Caruso chances, and you see just went high on that backhand feed.
This angle will show it, not the first, but the second. Watch Caruso go hard to the net right here. And he had it upstairs just on the backhand. It's always tough, especially when you really just only have the ability to flick it. That's a big face-off win for the Beacons, but they lose possession. Let's see if they can keep it in.
Puck is poked past Skinner by Schneider, and the Beacons will have to retreat. Under 9 to go in the game. The Beacons' third power play chance, and boy, do they need a goal right here. They come in operating at 29%. Statistics would say that they've got a decent shot to score on this third one, but we'll see the Beacons can back up those stats. Different look on the power play unit with some of the players out. Both Billy Grant and Daniel Nakbar out of the lineup today would be guys they typically play on the power play, and it's Schneider an easy clearance after Skinner tried to go through a pair of players. So already 40 seconds gone by, and the Beacons have yet to set up. Skinner being poked along the boards, able to feed it back for Albano. Albano, who scored the first goal in this one, over for Skinner, who scored a power play goal the first time these two teams played. Sat in a beautiful strip. He's looking for a short-handed chance. Caruso bumps off him. Sat in the centering feed, aiming for Sternbach. And there's a big hit from behind on a Beacon, no call. So Albano will bring it up, 4-on-3 here, but he's stripped.
Too many guys trying to stick handle. I mean, learn how to pass, will you? This entire power play has just been guys stick handle, and now they finally get in the zone, they turn it over, it's coming right back down.
Albano.
Just way too much individual, Seth. Too many guys, and we've seen this from this team, too many guys trying to do it themselves.
Down to 35 on the man advantage. The Beacons don't have a shot. Beacons don't really have much possession in the zone at all, as it's Riley all the way into the zone, but he absorbs a big hit from Denicourt and a chance to clear from Harrison, and he'll do so.
It's coming right back down. We've seen this from this team. You got to rely on other guys. You can't just try to stick handle around, 3, 4, 5 different guys. You got to use each other, and they were doing it in the first period, but now they put their backs against the wall, and everyone tries to be the hero.
Walker tries to get to the front of the net. There's Riley right into the chest, and then a hit afterwards. It's Martineau knocking down Bross, which isn't easy to do. And we'll see 5-on-4 for another 5 seconds.
Big draw. I've been saying it. These faceoffs are going to be critical for UMass Boston. You put your guy Bross out there. I like him in this spot. He's got a good backhand. I'm be surprised if he doesn't use it here. He's got a good backhand on his faceoffs.
It'll be Bross versus Martineau, who just knocked him down. The Beacons win the faceoff, but it comes out of the zone, and that will do it. This Beacons' third power play. They've been asking for it for a while, and don't do much with it. Getting just the one shot. They're going to say that was played by high stick by Petrozella, and the faceoff will come out of the zone. 7 minutes to go, and Matt, we're not trying to get negative here, but it just seems like the Beacons are less and less likely to get a goal, much less 2 goals, with the way that they really haven't played unselfish hockey here in the third the way they were playing the first.
Well, you still have enough time. I mean, just under 7 minutes now, but if you can't figure out a way to use each other out there and not try to just go through guys, you're not gonna do anything. I mean, Hobart's wise to it. They know they just got to play strong defense. They don't give up. As that shot almost got through, but you don't give up anything egregious. You just play tight D, and UMass with some offense here.
It's Petrozella through traffic, knocked down as Bross was battling there with Schultz, and on the long stretch pass, it's batted down by Benamarito with a high stick, picked up by Petrozella. We're gonna get a whistle and
icing.
Yeah, I think they are going to call that. It looks like Benamarito played it with a high stick right at the red line. So they'll send this one down the length of the ice, and the Beacons will get an offensive zone draw. So, yeah, exactly. The linesman is saying because it was played by a high stick, it doesn't count as the touch, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And we've got an offensive zone draw. Riley versus Harrison this time, tied up and coming away with it are the Beacons. Albano's shot tipped wide by Riley. Lascelles thought it was coming in near side. It went far left on the far side, and the Beacons get away with the penalty.
Yeah, the Beacons are getting close offensively. A couple times these pucks have been redirected or screened. They just haven't found pay dirt, and they got away with one there. I thought Caruso was going to get a tripping penalty.
6 minutes now left in the third period. UMass Boston scored 3 in the first, Hobart 5 in the second, and that's the scoring as Denicourt gets a rare look for Hobart here in the third period. Albano off the boards, looking for the long stretch pass. Riley in there with a Hobart player who fell down. That was Faulkner, and Riley's literally showing the diving motion there on Mike Faulkner, and those two will have a fun skate down the length of the ice after the icing on the Beacons.
Well, it doesn't really matter if it doesn't get called. And if I'm Riley, I had Albano trying to spring me there, and I didn't get there. So I'm looking to maybe draw a penalty on my own. I don't know.
5:45 to go. UMass Boston needs 2 here to keep their chances of a home playoff game in the NEHC tournament alive. It's Lynch has it tipped up. Bouncing puck will go all the way to the far side for Schneider. Tipped away, and now it's Keene trying to force a 3-on-2. Keene goes out wide looking for options and loses it. And it's a chance for Hobart the other way. Pass out of the reach of Schneider. Bogan will be the first one there. Able to find Held, who takes a bump into the boards. Evan able to corral it and goes off the stick of Walker for Nicken. Nicken had 2 assists already coming off a 3-point game. Held shot right into the body of a Hobart player, and it'll be Lynch one-on-one with Bogan the other way. Good work from Bogan to just flip that one up into the Beacons bench, and we'll get a stoppage with 5:02 to go.
Getting a little tight on time. So I said it before, you break the third period down into 4 quarters, 3 of them gone. So you really, now is where you start to really pull out the stops. And if I'm Coach Blyle, I start thinking about maybe going with 4 forwards. And a couple more minutes, 2-3 more minutes, I'm taking my goaltender. I got to find a way to score here. Nothing to lose.
Puck is tipped up into the Raptors, and we'll get a stoppage with 4:53 now left in this third period. Faceoff will come out of the zone, and Matt, you talked about possibly pulling the goalie. At what point do you really try to fly a player and hope that you can maybe get that one long stretch pass as they'll move the faceoff into the center ice dot?
Pulling the goalie is desperation. It really is. There's not a lot of tact involved. It's just, hey, we want to get an extra guy and see if we can essentially get lucky. I'm hoping as a coaching staff that we've got other things we can do before we resort to pulling the goaltender, such as playing with 4 forwards. This looks like it's going to go for icing, so no chance to do it here. But, you know, if I'm the coaching staff, I'm talking about, okay, who's shown me something tonight, who's got some spark, who's got some energy, and who isn't going to go on the ice and try to go through 5 guys? Who's actually going to use each other out there and enter the zone with some unity, which we haven't seen in this third period.
Sternbach versus Bross. Bross gets the face-off win. Behind the net, working with it is Roland, and Hobart applying a pretty heavy forecheck, able to slow down the Beacons. Good stretch pass right onto the stick of Skinner, who takes a bit of a hit from Howe, and on the turnaround, Hobart able to clear it. This should be an icing, and it will be.
Well, you saw Hobart there, and they're doing a fantastic job of attacking the puck carrier as they cross the blue line. I counted 4 Navy jerseys, Navy and orange jerseys. As soon as that puck crossed the blue line, they attacked, and they make it very difficult, especially when there's a little bit of frantic mindset involved. They make it very difficult to try to find your passing options. They just attack the puck carrier and then send it back down the other end of the ice. They've done it all period.
Nicken tries a shot, a lot of traffic in front, but it goes just wide as Peters was screening LaSalle, who still has not given up a goal in his last almost 5 periods here at the Edward T. Barry Ice Rink.
Yeah, how about that move, huh? You change your goaltender after the first period, and all of a sudden you put up 5, and you're in a position now with less than 4 minutes to play to get some 2 points here on the road.
Nicken backhand feed for Albano, has a sea of navy blue shirts in front of the net, tries to get a shot off, and it's knocked away right back at Albano, who gets a feed in, tipped, and another save from LaSalle, and then a diving effort to deny Peters a look. Comes all the way back for Albano. Albano has a player in front. Good defensive work there by Robitaille to break it up, and Robitaille, who scored the 5th goal in that second period, stripped to the puck there by DeLuzio. Beacons have had their chances here in the third, just have not been able to get one past Liam LaSalle. And while Joe Hallstrom has done a great job this season filling in after Connell did not return, and LaSalle missed the first 14 games, looks like Liam LaSalle might be, and it's tough to see just off of 1 game, the top option going forward for this Hobart team, is they won't be playing 2 games in a weekend until the NCAA Frozen Four going forward. Puck is loose, and it's collected here by Harrison with 2:48 to go. Harrison gains the zone, over for Benamarito, who sends it wide of the net. And a nice job pinching forward off the bench is Coffey to keep it in. Benamarito looking for a game-clinching goal. The shot goes just wide from Sliney.
Well, the next time you possess the puck, I think you got to take the goaltender. 2.5. This would be about the time I would do it. You need 2, not 1. You got to think about pulling them the next time you can get this puck with possession deep into the Hobart zone.
Coffey in on McBurney from behind the red line. McBurney will place it down for Petruzella. UMass Boston has had their chances here in the third, but have not been able to get that all-important 4th goal, as McBurney's going to come down by 2 with 2 minutes. Bross behind the net looking for options. Bross will try to find Nicken right through his skates, and it'll bounce out to the center ice for Albano. Leaves it off for Bross, gains the zone, has 2 players in front. He fights with Faulkner, one NEHC co-rookie of the year with another. Now it's Nicken looking for options. The turnaround shot goes off a skate and wide the net. Skinner's centering feed broken up, picked up by McGoyan, knocked down by Albano, and the puck is poked loose. Player back is Bogan, who will find Skinner, tries to flip it in. LaSalle immediately drops it. I love that from Liam LaSalle.
Yeah,
and it's flipped out, and now Bogan will have to chase it down.
That's a great point, Seth. Very smart for the goaltender to not take a whistle there.
And he's done that all game, and this is going to be an icing on Ryan Bogan. We've seen Liam LaSalle such a quick release, and that has helped his team. They haven't given up the same amount of offensive zone draws the Beacons have, as McBurney's forced to return to goal at the minute 21 to go, down by 2.
Yeah, that's a really smart play. I think a lot of goaltenders, at this point, a little bit of nerves, right? If I get the puck, I just gotta hang on to it. I don't want to do too much. But LaSalle keeps his composure, plays that puck, and let's not forget, now instead of, taking, if you hold that puck, you take a defensive draw, now sends it down the other end of the ice where you've got an offensive draw. So that's a big turn of events here. Beacons will take a timeout, and they might as well. A minute 21 left here, down by 2. Really, world of hurt here. This one's going to sting, but you never know. Seen crazier things happen in hockey. Still time on the clock, which means you still have time to tie up this hockey game. But
I mean, Matt, the scary part is obviously there's games to be played tomorrow. It depends on what happens with Babson and Skidmore. There's a chance if Skidmore comes in here and beats UMass Boston tomorrow, even if UMass Boston wins tomorrow, there's a chance they have to go to Geneva, New York next weekend to play this Hobart team. I don't know how confident they're going to be able to feel with the way this game has gone, the first game has gone. They can skate with Hobart. We've seen that. But Hobart, depth-wise, I mean, once this team gets rolling, they are really difficult to stop.
Well, a sense of confidence that doesn't waver, and we'll get into it post-game. But I think that might be the difference in this hockey game. You've got a UMass team that looked very cocky and very strong to start, and really buried Hobart in the first period, and then Hobart really just didn't waver from what's made them successful. Came out in the second period and just completely took revenge, reversed the tide, and find themselves up 2 here late in the third period.
Long stretch pass is knocked down. McBurney's still in the net. If you're a Hobart fan, good news. Skidmore and Babson 2-2 in overtime. If Skidmore can hold on for a tie, they don't even need to win it. Then all Hobart has to do is beat Babson tomorrow to earn the number 2 seed and at least 2 home playoff games in the NEHC tournament. The Beacons just hoping to keep their chances at 1 playoff game alive. They need 2 goals in the final minute as Nicken's shot is knocked down by a defenseman. Albano keeps it in the zone. Albano sends it towards net. Denicourt knocks it down with the net empty for the Beacons. Schultz will play it around. Albano knocks it down, and it is still in the zone. Good for the Beacons. Caruso for Walker. Send it back door for Nicken, who couldn't quite get there. Bross is knocked off the puck. Schneider has options ahead. Schneider tries to play Tyson, broken up nicely by Petrozella. Beacons were off, and now they'll touch up, and gets all the way to Bross, who will send it around the boards with 15 seconds left as the Beacons' comeback is going to fall short. 10 seconds to go. A lot of players digging it out. And that's going to just about do it as Riley will send it towards net, knocked down by Tyson. And then Schneider, for whatever reason, bumps into Riley. Kind of unnecessary, but it's been that kind of game. And that will do it as Hobart uses a 5-goal second period to come back from a 3-0 deficit and earn a 5-3 victory here at the Edward T. Barry Ice Rink.
It's kind of the way the season's gone for UMass Boston. Unfortunately, they just don't have enough, whatever you want to call it, senior leadership, enough confidence, enough belief in themselves. This one stinks. This one hurts because to come out with the velocity, the ferocity that they've had, we've seen what this team is capable of doing. They came out very strong. They looked real good out of the gate, put up 3 on the board, made this Hobart team look small, which is something that not a lot of teams have been able to do. And they went into the locker room, and I think, quite honestly, they felt a little bit too confident. They forgot going into the second period what they needed to do. They needed to finish the hockey game. They had 2 periods left to play. And it seemed like as soon as Hobart came out and they got a little bit of mojo and they got a little bit of momentum, they put UMass away. To put up 5 in the second period after giving up 3 in the first period is a pretty tall task. And this Hobart team looks very strong. They did a number on this UMass team for 2 periods. They had a tough start to this game, but they found a way to get back into this hockey game and walk out of here with 2 points when it looked like they were going to really have their backs against the wall. So a credit to Hobart, a team that looks strong, and number 5 in the country, obviously goes without saying. But for UMass Boston, this is a tough loss, and this is kind of the way the season has gone for this team.
Well, there's one piece of bad news for Hobart. It's that Babson just scored in overtime. So the best that Hobart can do is be the 3rd seed, depending on the results of their game tomorrow against Babson and the game between New England College and the University of Southern Maine tomorrow at New England College. The Beacons cannot finish higher than 5th. They need at least 1 point. Well, no, they just clinched the 5 seed. So we know the Beacons will be the 5 seed. We don't know who the 4 seed will be. We know Norwich and Babson are the 1 and the 2 seed. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll have a short post game for you here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. It's Hobart 5, UMass Boston 3.
UMass Boston is a special place that needs and it deserves a special leader.
My mother, she saw the dark clouds that were gathering in Argentina. She became convinced that it was very important for me to seek safety in the United States.
The young man who spoke only Spanish at the time found his way to a community college in California.
And I was blessed because I could transfer to the University of California, Berkeley. I really understood the extraordinary power of the public research university.
I am very proud to recommend Marcelo Suarez Orozco be appointed Chancellor of the University of Massachusetts, Boston.
He's a person who's made it here through public education, so he becomes the personification of all that UMass can provide to our students.
Everyone's going to be excited about having him as our next chancellor.
I am grateful, I am humble, I am delighted. Muchas gracias.
I think it's a new era at UMass Boston where only good things can happen.
It's great to have a world-class chancellor in a world-class city.
He can bring people together.
He is a world-class academic leader and is one of the pioneers of the field of immigration studies. I felt that this was the grand mission that was kind of the culmination of his research, his leadership. He sees what he can do at UMass is really leaving a mark for generations of students to come.
I am very proud to recommend Marcelo Suarez Orozco be appointed Chancellor of the University of Massachusetts, Boston.
I think that the responsibility of the Chancellor is to tell and retell the story of the fundamental contributions a public research university make and will continue to make moving forward. In this unique city, the city of education, the city of immigration, our Athens.
I believe that Marcelo is the right person at the right time.
Everyone's going to be excited about having him as our next chancellor.
My mother, she saw the dark clouds that were gathering in Argentina. She became convinced that it was very important for me to seek safety in the United States.
The young man who spoke only Spanish at the time found his way to a community college in California.
And I was blessed because I could transfer to the University of California, Berkeley. I really understood the extraordinary power of the public research university.
I am very proud to recommend Marcelo Suarez Orozco be appointed Chancellor.
Hobart scores 5 goals in the third period to earn a 5-3 victory over UMass Boston. Let's take a look at the final stats. They're closer than you would have expected because UMass Boston did earn the advantage in the third period in shots. Hobart, the big advantage in faceoffs, and the other advantage was on the power play. The Beacons statistically had the better power play, Hobart the better penalty kill. Today, Hobart's power play got them going in the second period. The first 2 of those 5 goals, scoring that first power play goal, but maybe 10 seconds into the power play.
Well, there was a sense of pride I felt with Hobart, and they really were feeling a little bit of embarrassment, giving up 3 in that first period, and I think when they made that, when they went in after the first and kind of looked themselves in the mirror, they thought, we're better than this. And we're better than this Beacons team. And they went out and proved it. And you take a look at the statistics, you know, they're not totally telling. But if you watch this hockey game, I think you really got a sense of you know, what the Beacons are all about this year. And unfortunately, it's a tale of two tapes. It's a team that looks very strong, that has a lot of talent and a lot of scoring ability. And they can score sometimes at will, which we saw in the first period, but they falter. They don't have the sustainable confidence that winning teams have, and you saw a team that does, and that's in Hobart. To give up 3 in the first period and then come out and score 5 is pretty astounding. And I give credit to this Hobart team. I think they're a formidable opponent no matter who they play. You saw that here tonight after driving, like you said, 6 hours to come and play a road game, and then on top of that go down 3 in the first, but still find a way to win is pretty special. And this team definitely has some senior leadership that they lean on, and you saw that here tonight.
Let's take a look at our 3 stars, all Hobart players. Liam Lassell, underrated in this game. 6 saves in the second, 12 more in the third, and 18 saves shutout over the final 2 periods after Joe Hallstrom was pulled after the first, giving up 3 goals on 15 shots. Lawson McDougall had the game-tying goal. Mike Faulkner, the first goal. But realistically, a slew of Hobart players really had good games for this Statesman team, especially in that second period.
You didn't want to give it to McBurney on his assist to Ben Marito? Yeah. Too soon. I'm sorry, making light of it. But yeah, no, it wasn't. Let me be clear. This wasn't McBurney's fault. He had some really big saves in the first period, and he got beat on a couple great shots. This really came down to UMass Boston's inability to respond. They didn't respond. They gave up 5 in the second and didn't have an answer for it. They gave up 5 unanswered goals. That's
5 unanswered.
That's unbelievable. Didn't have a response for it all night, and that's why you saw the 3 stars all go to Hobart. You take a look around the NEHC and see what's going on out of town.
Yeah, let's quickly give you a look at the playoff picture right now. Norwich was the 1 seed no matter what, but they are now there's no chance of a co-regular season title. They had to get swept this weekend. Babson would have had to sweep to have gotten the number 1 seed. So Norwich is 1, Babson is 2. Tomorrow we'll figure out who's 3 and 4, as both NEC and Hobart have similar point totals. Hobart 2 ahead of NEC at this point. So if Babson beats Hobart tomorrow, then NEC could possibly slip into 3rd. Otherwise, any other result, Hobart is the 3, NEC is the 4. UMass Boston locked in as the 5 seed. Skidmore the 6th, Southern Maine the 7th. And as of now, Castleton, for the first time in months, back into 8th place.
Whoa.
If they can get a win tomorrow, or as long as their travel partner Norwich gets both points against Suffolk, Castleton will be back in the conference tournament after missing last year. Quick look ahead for UMass Boston. Simple. Senior day tomorrow. The Beacons should have Daniel Nakbar back. That's good news, as the Beacons will honor their 5 seniors. And then the NEHC tournament next weekend. It'll be on the road. We don't know the time. We don't know the opponent quite yet. Finally, let's give a shout-out to our production crew spending their Valentine's Day with us. We're such lucky guys, aren't we?
Happy Valentine's Day.
The ladies up top, Gigi Braga, Isa Andrade, and Mary Jo Murphy, are excellent camera operators. Kyle Penny, Nanda Shah, Carly Fahey, Colin Ford, and Danny Colazzo. Kyle Penny got a double shout-out.
He was doing 2 cameras?
Kyle was doing a lot behind the scenes as well. For my partner, Matt Meisenbacher, my name is Seth Orensky. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow at 3:45 for Senior Day as the Beacons honor their 5 seniors.